All right, now we're live.
So do you want me to tell you about Bowsette now? Is
Yeah,
that
sure. Yeah, sure. Tell us about Bowsette.
so? That'll be the first thing we discuss is Bowsette.
Yep, in an Infinity video.
Internet myths.
On a gaming channel about Infinity for a video, we're going to talk about Bowsette for the first probably like 5 or 10 minutes.
Everyone else talks about Bowsette, so why not?
Yeah, why not?
But no, the whole reason Bowsette came to be was like the new Nintendo game. Apparently, like the Toadstool Princess or whatever is a toadstool, like Toad.
Yeah,
You know,
everyone's known that forever.
but there's Magic Crown, so when she puts it on, she becomes Princess Toadstool or whatever. It turns her into a lady.
Oh God.
And everybody was like, "Well, what happens if we put it on Bowser?" And
Oh no.
was born.
Really?
Yes,
Is that really the?
Thank you,
Is that?
Internet.
Oh my God.
that's exactly how that became a thing.
Oh gosh.
And now, over 100 new images of Bowsette are created daily, according to statistics on the internet.
I've seen fan art already of Bowsette, and I'm just like, and I watched a video from it was from a Dragon Ball Z fan, and he's been doing this series for over a year. It's Cell versus whomever, and just like earlier this morning, he released a Cell versus Bowsette. And I was just like, oh my God. And then I rolled for the comments and I was like, is it wrong that like, and all the comments like wanting to masturbate to it. And I'm just like, no, please, no.
Well, I mean, Rule 63 is a thing for a reason.
I mean, I know, but it's like, it's like Rule 34, but like now we're taking it to an extreme.
This is the extreme?
It's okay.
Rule 63 has been around a long time, man.
I haven't.
Oh, how sheltered you are, Mark.
This whole video, he's going to be flipping through these damn anime things, and it's going to get weirder and weirder as the night goes, or with how drunk I get because I'm already pre-game drunk. So let's do this.
Way to go.
Lush.
That's right.
Blush. Yeah, you fools. Oh, yep. See, now it's got.
Look, I got some new ones. I'm taking.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. That one's new. Hey, the more the variety, the more viewership we'll get.
Look at the things.
All right, Sean. Well, how about I allow you, and I'll let you do 5 minutes of explaining the basics of Infinity before we get into this. How's that sound?
Just 5 minutes, huh?
Well, I think 5 minutes is fair enough.
All right.
Considering I've never played a game and you're like the guy who kind of started the whole thing in our area.
5 minutes to explain the basics of Infinity.
Doable.
Well, I can admit all the gory details, I guess, but it is essentially, in a nutshell, just a near-future sci-fi anime-inspired skirmish game.
And?
Well, what do you want me to...
Okay, fine. Go into the gritty details. Oh, great. Now we got Bowser. Anyway, go into the gritty details.
Yes. Now we've won the internet.
The internet is ours because now we have included Bowsette.
That's right. But no, Infinity is a, it is an I go you go game, but the only difference being that it's technically always your turn, as you can react to what your opponent does as you are playing through the battle rounds. So that's
it's your turn.
That's a big thing that sets it apart from a lot of other games out there, like Warhammer and Age of Sigmar and all that.
Well, it does, in my opinion, take a little bit of inspiration from from Warhammer, because I don't know how long the mechanic has been around, but like the challenge, like in Warhammer, if your unit of guys is attacking another unit of guys or is attacking a hero or a big machine or creature, like it's combat where like in a way you can react, but it's not the exact same way as Infinity. But I feel like that was kind of inspired by it.
I would say no, because they're nothing alike in how they play.
Well, I haven't played a single game of Infinity.
Yeah, no, they do not play similarly in a similar fashion at all.
Well, think in 40K, if you moved a guy across, like, just from a building to a building or a ruin to ruin or what have you,
Right.
Your opponent gets to shoot at him while you're moving. So,
yeah,
think along kind of like that.
That'd be a lot more intense.
Oh, it is. There's a lot more thought that has to go into what you're doing in Infinity compared to 40K.
Right. I wonder now that that's kind of been explained to me a little bit better. I wonder if like what would happen if you included that mechanic into the modern 40K.
A game of 40K would take a day and a half to play.
Yeah. It'd break.
It would break.
You have too many models for that to be even feasible in a game of 40K, being that it's a war game and not a skirmish game.
Well, right. I mean, but the mechanic itself, kind of simulates, realistic combat.
That's exactly it with Infinity. It's closer to a simulation of realistic combat. It's almost like playing XCOM or something, if you've ever played that.
I've played that.
Yeah, so it's more like XCOM compared to something like 40K.
I see.
Yeah.
That's that would actually kind of break the game now that I'm kind of actually thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
Well, because like in Infinity, how it works on your active turn, you have X amount of orders based upon the amount of guys you have.
Right, and at most, you have 20 character or 20 personnel.
You can get up to 30 if you want. If you want to eke it out and have a bunch of scrubs, essentially.
Okay.
But yeah, you can do that. However, every time you spend an order, and you don't have to spend it on everybody, and that's a big problem a lot of people first getting into it have. You're used to playing a game like a 40K or something. You try to move everything you have on the table, and that's often not the right thing to do in Infinity.
Yeah.
And believe me, that'll burn you in the end. I still remember what happened in that one game with Russ, who was trying to move everything. Here comes a flamethrower up along the side.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and bunching, unless you're in a fire team. Bunching, not a good idea.
Yeah. Not a good idea to group too tight. Templates and stuff still do exist in Infinity, unlike current 40K, where there are no more templates.
Which, in my opinion, makes 40K go by so much more faster.
Yeah, but things like flamethrowers, mines, shotguns, all that stuff in Infinity have templates that are associated to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's really okay. So I actually did wonder about that. Like because this whole time, even though I've been watching, Infinity games, online and everything, I'd always kind of akined it to the sort of, my turn, your turn in combat that 40K had.
Yeah. And I mean, in addition to your orders, though, which I was going to get at, why it wouldn't work in 40K. So when you issue an order, after completing your first short skill of the order, so an order generates either one long skill or two short skills for the unit that you activated with the order. After the first short skill, your opponent gets to check for ARO, or his active response order, to your order that you just declared. So any of his models that could have drawn line of sight to your model during your movement or action can then react to what you just did.
So if I gave an order to hide behind, so if my guys were hiding behind some barrels, and I gave an order for them to go forward and hide behind a crate, hypothetically, and if there's an enemy unit across the board that does have line of sight to me, they can, as you say, react to that.
Exactly. So you can imagine if someone was playing an orc army in 40K and they had 200 boys on the table,
God.
and now you would have to resolve your active response to like 160 boys or something. And yeah, that just wouldn't work.
Because each boy is going to move individually, so that means arrow, 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 arrow.
Yeah.
Jesus, that would suck.
As I said, it would take like you 2 days to play a game of 40K. You know, it'd be
as much immersion as that might be able to give you. That's probably better for like an online game.
Yeah, so it would not work in Infinity. Infinity is more meant for you know, like you're playing
like the Elite.
Yeah, you're like a special forces group or something, you know, or you know, a squad of guys from an army or something.
Or like it would work better if you were playing Kill Team or something in terms of like 40K.
Yeah,
like that mechanic would work better.
Yeah, I mean the game also does have more than just infantry, kind of like 40K. It doesn't have any tanks or anything, but it has things like remotes, which are
the cav units.
Well, they actually do have motorcycle troops, so those are more akin to cavalry. Even though, like, a lot of the tags, which are the tactical armor gears, are actually referred to as cavalry a lot of the time.
That's how they're described on the official Corvus Belly shop.
It depends on the unit, but I know, like, a lot of the Pano tags are considered cavalry.
Oh, okay.
Cavalry units, like chasseurs and Squallow is actually an armored cavalry unit.
Because I think a lot of my bikers are considered cavalry.
Yeah. But
yeah, the units I'm looking at, they're tag, but they're considered fast cavalry.
Yeah. But and those are for, you know, people that don't know, essentially not like Gundam robots, but like 10-foot tall, you know, dudes in power suits are
it's almost like the Tony Stark armor.
Much beefier than Iron Man in these games.
I mean, yeah, if Iron Man, you know, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like they're in, but like not many people are gonna get all the anime and, you know, shoujin, you know, references. So why not just go with a superhero reference? And Iron Man is the best choice.
Yeah. Well, more of the heavy infantry are more akin to Iron Man than the tags. So we're drawing that comparison. But
fair enough.
Well, I mean, I guess you could loosely say like the Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Even though most of the tags aren't really that big.
God, the thing is, the problem with the Hulkbuster armor not qualified for that is because it's where the tags and all them guys are technically beefy, whereas the are considered like slim and elegant, whereas the Hulkbuster armor is considered to be like very beefy, very large.
It depends.
Now you're not talking about my tag.
Like I said, it depends on the tag. So all of the different.
Okay, well, the tags I know.
Yeah, they all have different aesthetics. You know, like the ones for Pano, they actually don't even have pilots in them, so they're more of a
robot
like a drone unit. You know, it's just a robot being piloted by a guy from like a bunker or, you know, command, you know, facility a long way away from the front.
At least reminds me. Pilot looks good.
Yeah,
I got a good looking pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, you actually have access to your pilot?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Basically, once the tag is down, the pilot can get out.
Yeah.
Oh, so like there's a model for the tag and the pilot?
Yeah, and you have to have the pilot if it has the pilot.
Oh, so like you could have to have the pilot like physically represented.
Yeah, they have their own models.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. And just in case you guys didn't know, the Pano, you know, remote presence tags, they also have a pilot.
Really?
Yeah, they have a crab bot that can actually detach from the tag, which is the brain of the tag. So they actually do have a similar thing. It's not nearly as good as a lot of the pilots that exist out there for the piloted tags, but you do have a little crab robot that can detach, and it's also a specialist troop and all that stuff. So
are those disc-shaped things that I showed you when I was looking at my own tags for military order?
No, it's it literally looks like a little crab robot.
Oh, okay.
It comes with the tech bee. The tech bee comes with it, so you gotta get the tech bee to have one.
But they're still not exactly required to run the tags, right?
No. And in fact, unlike the piloted tags, they actually do have a living component where if the tag gets destroyed, the pilot has a chance to eject. The crab bot does not just eject from the G-Sync tag.
Oh, okay.
But it does give you that thing. I need a specialist. They're rarely used, but you have that option. Oh, I need a specialist all of a sudden. I'm going to park my tag here and have the little robot get out and go do its thing. And maybe get back to the tag.
Okay, well, that's really interesting. I actually didn't know that at all. I just thought that they were all man-piloted, just like I thought they'd be piloted, like my own tags would probably be piloted by some one of the knights or something.
Well, and a lot of the, from what I understand, quite a few of the tag pilots actually would just take the gun off the tag and start using it themselves.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that does happen with a few of them that are out there.
That's pretty wizard.
But I mean, like take the lizard tag for nomads though. Like their pilot, the guns are actually built into the arms of the tag, so she does not actually have the tag's gun when she departs. However, the iguana, which is another nomad tag, when that pilot actually ejects, it takes the heavy machine gun off the tag as it departs the tag.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of neat stuff like that happens in Infinity, unlike like 40K, which is 40K is largely just try to optimize the amount of dice you get in rerolls these days and stacking buffs and whatnot to throw the most dice and cause the most damage. Whereas Infinity, it really matters what you do with an individual guy, and each guy can do a lot of different things. Unlike 40K, where everybody pretty much does the same thing.
Right.
And you guys that are good at more than one thing, that's for sure. So
that's really wow. There's a lot more to Infinity than I guess I give it credit for.
Yeah, a good way to put it is like 40K is more of a beer and pretzels game, and Infinity is more of the thinking man's game, to sound slightly snobbish about it.
Yeah, Sean, sounding a little snobbish about it, aren't you?
Well, it does have a great deal more depth than a game like 40K does.
Yeah, but I mean, Warhammer also came out how many decades before Infinity?
True, but they're on their 8th edition of 40K. The Infinity's in its 3rd, but Infinity has always been a very crunchy game, and that's where a lot of new players coming into it have problems, being that like the core rules for Infinity aren't hard to get down if you read the rule book, but the learning all the what all the gear does for everybody, what all everybody's special rules do, that's where the bulk of the game, like all the rules come into play, because
basically finding the perfect list.
Because I think like the core rules are about 30 pages long, which isn't bad. It's like 30 35 pages, something like that. That's not bad to learn the basic mechanics of the game. However, combining all the books together, you've got 200-300 pages of special rules that exist for the game.
Well, and if you only play 1 or 2 factions, then you only have to focus on the special rules for those 1 or 2 factions.
Kind of, because many of them are shared across multiple factions.
Well, they would tell you if they were shared, I would think.
Well, they're not exclusive to anybody per se, and Infinity is a thing. So
well, I'd assume that Military Order as a faction is different than your mainline Pan-O, units. I'd assume that Military Order would have their own unique set of rules, aside from what the Pan-O gives them. You know what I'm saying.
So unlike 40K, where the different organization you play in Infinity, say we take Marine chapters, so every Marine chapter has their exclusive rules, that gives them their flavor.
Yeah, the Blood Angels have this, Wolves have that, all that stuff.
In 40K, in Infinity, it's more the units that you bring in that particular group give that army its flavor. So it's rather than a set of rules tacked on top of the army giving it its distinction, it's the actual units themselves give them the distinction in Infinity.
So I could have a Pano commander, and then I could have Joan as my hero, and then I all of a sudden can not only get unique rules because of Joan, but also because I have the Pano commander.
See, even with Joan though, like, and she is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but her rules are not unique just to her.
Right,
So,
right. No, and I'm not saying like her rules aren't unique. I'm just saying like she would give me different rules than what like any other like Pano hero would give me. Like her rules are kind of hers, and she might share a few of them with other people, but like they're hers per se.
oh yeah, they do belong to her, the ones that she has. But like, there's another character that does pretty much the same thing that she does, but slightly different.
I assume it's
Ariadna.
from. Oh, is she from the Russians?
No, the other guy's Caledonian, so he's the Scottish people. It's William Wallace is the other character.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be looking into getting into.
Yep.
Well, the Scottish.
Yep.
Oh, the Caledonians, absolutely.
Oh, nice.
But like, let me open Infinity Army.
By the
Go
way,
right ahead.
I'll take a look at Ida Swanson's profile. That's a really good profile now that I'm looking at it again.
She does have a good profile. But like just to iterate, like, you have two people that their core special rule is the same, which is inspiring leadership.
Mm-hmm.
But like Joan, she's religious. She has martial arts level 3, inspiring leadership, just like Wallace does. But she has no wound incapacitation. However, she's a heavy infantry profile, so she has really good armor, really good BTS, and a fairly high close combat skill with multi-rifle or Spitfire, depending upon what version of Joan you're bringing into the game. So she's a pretty beefy lady.
Well, wouldn't Wallace also be a heavy?
I don't believe William Wallace is, so we're gonna look at him really quick.
I'm intrigued because last I know, William Wallace would definitely either count as heavy infantry or, I mean, I don't really see him as anything else. I mean, he's got that. I depict him as when I see the Mel Gibson movie because he's got that giant ass sword.
So William Wallace is more of a medium infantry character. He moves a bit faster than Joni does. His close combat's not as good. He does not have a martial arts like Joan does. So Joan
That makes sense.
is actually slightly better, like stat-wise, combat-wise, but like Wallace has an explosive close combat weapon, so that hits really hard, unlike Joan, where she doesn't have that. But he has no BTS to speak of. His armor is not as good.
I've seen pictures of the new Joan, and I am really excited because she looks really good.
Oh yeah, she's really good. It's also the other version of Joan, so that's the mobility armor version of Joan.
Yeah, and she's got like some like longer. It's like longer hair or something.
She has the wavy flowing hair in that sculpt. Yep.
Yeah.
There's some really bad sculpts of him.
Yeah.
Of who?
William Wallace, and for that matter, all the Caledonians have some really bad sculpts. Like when they first started out.
Yeah,
really?
A lot of them are old.
Oh, are they like one of the older factions?
Yeah, they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Man, those old sculpts. I was like, I'm so glad they put out new stuff.
Well, like the old stuff compared to I mean, it's not like terrible. I've seen worse from other game companies, but compared to their new stuff, yeah, it's like this does not look good at all compared to like current Corvus Belli minis, where you're like, these all look amazing. I don't even care what army I'm playing just because they all look so cool.
Yeah.
So it wasn't always Corvus Belli?
No, it's always been Corvus Belli. It's just they've
improved.
Yeah, I think they've gotten some new sculptors in recent years, and they're.
But that's a good thing.
Yeah. So they have up there when I would say like some of the prettiest models in a war game.
Even though they're metal.
Yeah, even though they're metal.
I see nothing wrong with metal, to be honest. I like the weight.
Yep, nothing wrong with metal minis.
No, they're just a pain to assemble.
Not for me.
No, they're not that hard. It's quicker for me to put together Infinity minis than it is 40K ones.
This is true.
It's super easy for me to put together it's super easy for me to put together 40K minis.
Yeah, they're easy, sure, but Infinity models are easier.
Well, like at the level I do, like say 40K minis, the amount of cleaning and stuff I do on them, it takes me a lot longer to clean like a Space Marine than it does an Infinity Metal Mini.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, metal still has mold lines, but they're not nearly as bad a lot of the time as what you'd get out of a 40K kit.
Yeah, those mold lines kill me. It's like, all right, well, time to scrape all this crap off.
Yeah, and then you're also most of the time. I mean, you still occasionally have to, but you're not dealing with also as many like connection points for the vents, like on the sprues and stuff.
Mm.
I guess, yeah, I do like that, but I felt like with these it was a lot harder.
I'll give you they are fiddlier because they're smaller.
Yeah. I had difficulty assembling. I actually still have one guy disassembled because he isn't coming together very well.
Also might be the kind of glue you're using too.
Honestly, I've been half thinking about wanting to use JP Weld at this point.
So just get some Loctite gel glue. You'll be fine.
Loctite gel glue
stuff. It's really a matter of preference, but I at least use gel super glue when you're doing the metal minis because that gets tackier and sticks a lot faster.
Right.
Compared to like a standard super glue.
Well, I don't use standard super glue.
Yeah.
I've been using Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, a lot of people use Gorilla Glue. Is it the gel kind though?
Yes, absolutely.
Has to be a gel kind. I just prefer the Loctite stuff because it just seems like it bonds like super quick.
Mm-hmm.
Is the thing. So like, I don't know.
Oh no, believe me, I totally get it.
Yeah. So again, that's just personal preference is all.
Right. No, I get it. If I had been playing more games of it, then I'd probably get more into it than I am right now. But hopefully once I get more of those games played, I actually will kind of get more into it.
Play Infinity. Best game ever.
Well, the thing is, the only people who play it are you fools.
Slowly growing at the den. Now I just gotta see if I can't get Rhonda to run the league. If not, we'll have an unofficial League of Infinity, which I talked to Randall about on Saturday.
I heard she's doing a 40K league, even though Russ is still talking about doing his. And I was just kind of like,
they might be. By the way, we can segue for a moment away, and they gave a really bullshit reason why they can't. And I was like, this is retarded. I would have.
Did they really give a BS reason?
So it's not Games Workshop or anybody that's stopping them from doing a league.
Okay. What's stopping them?
Wizards of the Coast.
What?
Okay.
Wizards of the Coast doesn't even have any power over.
No. We'll come back to this in a minute here. So.
Okay, you better explain.
We'll explain this now, but we'll come back to Infinity Minute just to go with the segue of some internet drama that happened a while back. Okay.
Okay.
So the reason why Wizards of the Coast won't allow like even a 40K like league or tournament or anything run by just like players at the store is due to they need to have background checks done for Magic judges.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
what?
Wizards of the Coast has gone and apparently told a bunch of game stores, if you have any event for any game, it has to be a store employee that has a background check done, or we're going to pull all of our product from your store.
You're kidding.
No.
Wizards of the Coast literally said that they will start pulling product if the employees don't have background checks.
Yep.
Because of some things that happened.
Yeah.
Do we know what these things that happened were?
Oh, I do. Yeah. Russ, by the way, hates the guy profusely that it happened to. But I mean, I don't agree with either side of what ended up ultimately happening to get us in our current spot. But I also understand why it happened.
Yeah.
And it mainly happened because Wizards of the Coast wouldn't let it go, and they're idiots, and they they fucked with this guy. Essentially, is what happened.
Okay, what in the world happened?
So, what, about 2 years ago now? I think it was about 2 years ago now when it all started. Anyway,
It's been a bit.
yeah, a year and a half, 2
Oh.
years ago.
Okay.
So, one of the Wizards of the Coast cosplayers, like, what initially sparked it was actually some kid, apparently, on their
What?
Facebook page. You know, he's like, I came for the cards and I stayed for the booty or something, was his comment.
Oh my god.
You know, this cosplayer. So rather than just going, you know, whatever, people are idiots on the internet, you know, and letting it go, she called the kid out. You know, she berated him in front of everybody, you know, essentially in her response, you know, pretty much, you know, told him kind of he was a piece of shit in so many words. However, this other guy, I believe his name's Jeremy Hambley, he who ran Magic the Gathering headquarters at the time, which was a rather large Magic channel on YouTube, you know, pretty much called her out for being an internet thought. You know, cosplayers are thoughts, pretty much is what he said. He did not say kind things to this lady. Like, you know, he said you're just essentially a money grubbing whore, pretty much. He called her.
I think I heard a little bit about this.
Yes. So
From Boogie.
Yeah. So in response to this, Wizards, you know, they yell at him, and then the cosplayer in question says, "Oh, I'm being harassed now," and it's like, well, of course, you just kicked off an internet shitstorm. What did you expect?
Yeah.
It's the internet.
You're not gonna get much love.
So this guy, though, being, again, he has a rather large Magic channel at the time. I think he still has a rather large channel, but he, you know, essentially said, I do not like cosplayers that do this stuff. If you like cosplayers, that's fine. And he even admitted in his video, he's like, I use fairly, you know, harsh, you know, and, you know, uncouth language, as it were, you know, but he also even stated in that video that you should not go and harass this woman. I do not condone you doing it. And you can look at it as, you know, hey, he's just trying to cover his own ass or whatever. But he did say, I don't agree with, you know, her being harassed over the whole thing. But
right.
Wizards ends up lifetime banning this guy is what ends up happening over those words, which, by the way, if at most he should have probably just gotten a suspension, you know, just for saying mean things to somebody. It's not like, you know, he went out there and was saying like totally egregious things, even though, and this is funny, Russ says that guy said he was going to rape her.
Oh, God.
I was like, he never said that. Of all the things I've seen on it, he never said that. But that's how, like, a lot of the people on the, you know, the pro Watsu side put it, like, oh, this guy's such a terrible misogynist piece of crap, and he said he was going to rape this woman, and yada yada. And I'm like, you guys are full of crap.
That's crazy.
I mean, this guy is clearly just an internet shitlord, you know, like a lot of people on the internet. And
I mean,
again,
yeah, that's pretty much everyone on the internet.
I mean, for him too, he should just like let it go, not stepped in, but he did. And then in WotC also, they should have just let it go, and then they stepped in, you know. So to me, both sides were idiots in this thing. Granted, I understand that guy's doing quite well afterwards, so, you know, it was, I guess, win-win for both of them. And now WotC can just sit there and fuck with other game stores, pardon my French to everybody on the internet here, but they get to mess with everybody and be like, oh, well, because now we need background checks, you know, we can screw with all the other games in the store, because we know if a game store loses us, they're going to go under, most likely.
That's insane. That really is. That whole,
But,
like, I never actually knew that was the whole issue. I never actually.
That's part of it, because what ended up after the guy got banned, obviously this guy has a big YouTube channel and he's a fairly vindictive type of person and mad at the coast now. So he does some digging, and it turns out there are legitimate, like, convicted pedophiles, you know, in the Magic the Gathering judge program.
Oh, wow.
So he exposes a bunch of pedophiles that are current active judges in Magic, which he's like, how come there's no background checks for Magic judges, you know, to keep these pedophiles away from, you know, children and stuff that are at a lot of these events?
Oh, I bet Magic went to town.
Oh, that's why the current state exists. But what's weird is because, like, from what I've understood, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon leagues have always required background checks for the judges for their events.
Obviously.
So, yeah, and from what I understand too, they pay for it. So why couldn't Wizards of the Coast pay for it? And instead, they're making the game stores do it. And not only that, they're like, well, if you hold any other events, you know, even if they're not Magic the Gathering related ones, you know, you got to have background checks done, or we're pulling our shit out of your store.
That's really so. They're basically dictating all these other war games and other war game properties.
Yeah, not just war games, like any card game, anything. Period. WotC's like, no. We own your game store. We tell you what to do.
Is GW having a say in this?
I'm not even sure if GW is aware of this.
Probably
really?
not.
You would think they would be if Wizards of the Coast is trying to actively infringe on tournaments for local game stores that they're helping, or you know that they also have products in. You would think that GW would be like, hey guys, you need to stop your shit.
Right. I'm very tempted to send them an email to let them know what's going on in certain game stores, I guess.
You mean what's going on in like virtually all game stores?
Yeah. Well, from my understanding, it's not like that for all game stores. So I'm not sure if it's just something that the Den threw out there as a reason, you know, or if it's, you know, how it is. Because like the other tournaments held around in the Twin Cities here, where I'm at, like there are people that are not store employees at these stores, like running tournaments for 40K.
Right.
So, and they obviously also sell Magic cards, so it's like, I don't know if they just don't give a shit. So they're like, F you, you know, Wizards of the Coast, which should be the proper response.
but the thing is, it's not like they have to notify them. It's like, oh yeah, like.
But then again, at the same time, too, some more shit. Like, not that it really matters for Wizards of the Coast, being that you can buy your Magic cards for like $20 to $25 cheaper on Amazon.
Right.
Because, you know, now they've gone full distribution, so you can just buy all the newest releases on Amazon.
Yeah, I know.
So.
Yeah, I don't know what their whole. Yeah, that's really ridiculous.
I mean, I understand Magic's easy money for a lot of these game stores because it pretty much sells itself.
Especially for Rhonda and Joe.
Yeah, well, for any game store, because it pretty much sells itself, you know, with the amount of people that play it right now.
Well, there's a reason why my Target sells them like in the bundles, and I'm not even joking. We have every time there's a new release, we have those cards already in our back room ready to sell.
Yeah, well, same. Yeah, exactly. You can get those cards at Target and Walmart too. But the thing is, you know, what happens when people aren't really buying them at your game store anymore, and they're really just showing up to win their card mats, which it really seems like, especially at the Den.
Yeah, it seems like that's like the one thing everyone wants to do is win a card mat.
Because like most Saturdays, and you know, you don't see like the card room filled full of people playing Magic unless there's a release event going on. You know, where they can win some card mats.
Or there's an event going on where I feel like I see a mat being given out at least once a week.
I don't know about that at the Den.
No, I'm not kidding.
I wouldn't quite say like at the Den or anything, but I mean like, oh god, last Saturday, holy crap, there were a ton of people there.
Well, yeah, it was because there was that Ravnica release thing, but I mean,
and then it was also the 20th, or it was also like the 15th anniversary or whatever.
I mean, I know you weren't there the Saturday before, but there was like next to nobody there the Saturday before.
Oh, I was there the Saturday before.
I know there were
about me.
Yeah. Oh, you.
Yeah. But even the Saturday before that, when Mark was there, there weren't that many people there. You know,
there was like 5 people when I walked in, and they must have been getting ready for something, because when I left about 2.5, 3 hours later, there was probably, well, there were 5 when I came in, and there was like 15, and they were slowly growing in number.
Yeah.
But they were all doing different games. They weren't like getting set up for some event. They were all there doing different card games.
But at the same time too, like the numbers they're getting, being that the Den's not a very large store, it's not like these are like stupendous numbers. Because like a few weeks ago when I went to the Fantasy Flight Game Center, and for Netrunner, and that's a dead game now, but it was like going to be the last event for Netrunner. There was like 460 people there to play. You know, so it was like a madhouse at the game center because there's just that many people there playing Netrunner.
but it was like the final game, so I mean that makes sense.
Right. But at the same time, too, it's like, who gives a crap if you get anything for Netrunner? Because, if you're going to play it, you're just going to play with your buddies anyway.
Right.
So why pay money to go to this official event for Netrunner?
Because people still love it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, obviously people still love it, and people are probably really sad that it's no longer a thing anymore. But at the same time, that's a huge turnout for like not what you consider a super mainstream game, and it's not a collectible card game; it's a living card game. So,
yeah, you know what? You just mentioned Netrunner, and you know what that made me think of?
What?
In that Imperial Assault game. Ever since Legion came out, I have heard nothing for that game.
Of course not, because it would be directly competing. They'd directly compete with one another, so you got to put one over the other, which was kind of dumb. Why, like, again, going back to the conversation, I'm like, I don't know why they made Armada rather than just making expanding X-Wing to include larger ships and shit, because you're essentially making two competing products against each other.
But then everyone went to X-Wing because that was the first one.
And by the way, last week was the most people playing X-Wing in a long time down at the Den that I've seen in a long, long time. Because they had an X-Wing event.
4?
Yeah.
Wow. I think that number is less significant than you think it is.
Well, I'm just saying, we saw some people playing X-Wing. It happens occasionally.
Yeah. Well, what, Russ, the last time I heard him play X-Wing was, God, like a year ago.
Yeah.
And now he's got like a pretty much useless X-Wing army just sitting at his house.
I mean, I think the only other time I've seen people up there playing X-Wing was when we had the Shadespire tournament.
Oh. Yeah, I think there was before then as well.
Yeah. So
it's like the same 4 people. Yeah. What a shock.
True. Well, and it's even funnier.
I did bring a kid, and I believe they were playing X-Wing, so I think that was actually 6 last Saturday.
Yeah, that's true. They had maybe 2 more people. But I thought it was funnier that now Shad's like, I'm going to bust out my YS cards too and play YS.
And well, because they suddenly found like a lot of their YS cards because they had them all stored away in a garage.
That's why they had YS cards?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Because they bought like some stuff a long time ago, and they thought they had shipped everything off to one of their sister stores. But then apparently they were recently looking through the garage and found all those cards.
Oh, geez.
So that's why they put them out.
Oh, geez.
That's a hilarious excuse.
But I just find it funny, though, since they put them out, a lot of people are like, oh, hey, we can play Weiss.
Isn't that a dead game as well?
No, it's still active.
Oh, really?
Dead in the Den.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Like Force of Will's dead in the Den, but that still has an active community.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever happened to that 5 rings thing that Rhonda for FFG, the 5 rings of whatever?
5 rings?
The legend of like Rhonda and Joe were like super pushing that when it first released, and then
Joe was pushing Legion?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard nothing.
Like they get everything for Fantasy Flight that they try to push that no one really buys, except for one random person occasionally.
I'm convinced it's just because Fantasy Flight's local and they can get it cheaper.
Yeah, that is part of it.
Because they literally just got to go down to the store and pick it up, so they don't have to pay for any shipping. They can get it straight from them.
Well, it is nice when the headquarters for the entire company is in the same state you are.
Yeah, but they're jerks. So they suck.
The games aren't that great either.
No.
We devoted in like an entire like hour-long segment in our last video to this subject, so
yeah. And
yeah, I mean, I guess that wasn't enough for us to kind of get our itch of what the hell is wrong with FFG.
Yeah, well, they just suck a lot of the time. What can you do?
Well,
at least they allow you to run leagues and stuff and not be members of the store. And
what?
They have an Infinity League at Fantasy Flight, and those guys are not, employees of Fantasy Flight games.
I know that.
So that's why I'm like, you either say F off, Wizards of the Coast, we don't care, I guess. Go ahead and pull your shit, make less money, I guess.
Right.
or you find other ways to make money, which clearly Fantasy played. Even if they lost Wizards of the Coast, like we can't sell Magic cards anywhere. Not a big deal to them.
Well, right. It's not like Wizards of the Coast is going to be losing money.
Well, they would lose money. Not like, oh my God, we're lost like 5% sales or something, but they'd lose out on money, because no one would be buying Magic cards from Fantasy Flight Games anywhere. And they wouldn't be hosting any Magic events there, and they have quite a large event center, so that, they can have over 400 people playing in card events.
Like Netrunner.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, card sales are like one of the big things for stores. So,
well, that's my other problem with it, because it's like 50 to 60% of most stores' revenue are Magic cards.
But can you blame them?
Yeah, I can.
You let this happen.
Exactly. It's like you wanted easy money, and that's exactly it. It's easy money. It sells itself. You don't have to do a lot, and you make money, and you push it all the time. So whose fault it is when you essentially put most of your eggs in one basket? Whose fault is that?
This sounds like that rant you had about Rhonda and Joe, like not including the wargaming, like a wargaming, at least a mention of wargaming.
Yeah, they finally did after obviously I think they felt that they made Russ slightly mad, and they're like, oh, we're thinking about having a league.
I'm talking about remember we were talking about the newspaper?
Yeah.
And like they didn't mention wargaming like at all.
Yeah, and like I said, it was like last week where they finally were like, because of after the whole tournament thing, they're like, well, we're thinking about having a beginners league for 40K. Is anyone interested?
Yeah, I saw that on the thing. I was like, Rhonda, you just pissed off like every major wargamer last week.
Yeah, well, that's exactly why I think they're doing it. So
and then this little thing that they're setting up now, I can't even participate in because for one, I don't have the money to go out and buy a now starting kit because you can only play what's in a now starting kit, and my armies don't consist of it.
Wait, are you talking about for the 40K thing?
Yeah, it's start collecting boxes only. It's an escalation league, so the first week you have to play with the start collecting box.
So you can only play with one heavy unit, a unit of 10.
It's a start collecting box. It's not whatever it's comprised of. It's a start collecting box, and that's it.
Yeah,
because all start collecting boxes are balanced together.
Wait, so you have to buy a brand new box just to participate?
No. You just have to have all the models that's in it. You don't have to buy a new one.
Yeah, that's what I was listing off for the Imperial Guard. It's heavy unit.
No, not a heavy unit. It's that one.
Yeah, you'd have to have the contents of the start collecting box for Astra Militarum too.
Which I do.
Well, yeah, you do, but
But I'm just saying, that's what their tournament is comprised of, just what's ever in start collecting box. Because here's the thing. Sure, I may not be able to, play in it. That's fine. Whatever. I don't care that much. But here's what really gets me. It's like, okay, where exactly is the balance here? Because start collecting boxes, just get them. Okay, well, which one is the strongest? Let's just all get that one, kind of thing.
Yeah, like I was saying, can we consider an Imperial Knight a start collecting box for an Imperial Knight army? So I can just bring a Knight Crusader for the first couple weeks and like dominate the whole thing.
Or bring Zinch.
I can easily, yeah. And then if you get Zinch, then everyone's going to hate you because it's a broken army.
Yeah.
But, or just whatever, because any of the start collecting boxes just are good or bad depending on how the army is.
Well, they don't have 1,000 Sun start collecting box is another thing. So it's like you're exempting a lot of armies that exist in 40K right now because they don't have start collecting boxes.
I mean, God, at the very least, if they gave us a point value, I could at least bring a couple of my units, like maybe 2.
Well, that's why I tried to tell them, like, make it like 500 points for the escalation league to start, and you grow it by like 250 points each cycle. You know what I mean? That way,
yeah,
it's typically a start collecting box plus a unit. Is usually what 500 points is. Depending.
Well, if you choose Imperial Guard, if someone was to choose Imperial Guard, then they could just throw another tank in their list.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm looking at. I can't even play because for one, my army isn't even a start collecting box.
No,
Unless
you're
you count
custodian.
Caldo the Emperor. But
No, you're custodes. You don't have any start collecting box right now,
No.
I don't believe.
no, absolutely not.
That's
And
what I said.
they probably won't ever be. But the thing is, if at 500 points, like he was suggesting, I could at least play that.
Right.
Exactly.
But that's like what, 1 or 2 units for you? Not trying to, ruffle your feathers at
That's
all.
fine. And that's exactly what I would be expecting. It's like, hey, at least I could have fun playing those 1 or 2 units.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, I'm just completely discounted out of even playing at all.
I mean,
Right, and that's stupid.
I understand from their point of view what they're trying to do is get new players and sell a bunch of start collecting boxes, but at the same time, you're exempting people, even those new players, that, hey, maybe I do want to play Thousand Sons, maybe I do want to play Custodes. Well, I can't. In your escalation league, at least not for a few weeks into the league or something. You know what I mean?
Well, then maybe you guys should bring up to Ronda exactly what you said, Sean, and have them just have them be the 500 points. You don't even say that they have the start collecting box. Just make it a suggestion, because the start collecting box will easily get you on your way to 500 points on any army you choose.
And my other problem is logistically, they actually, say if 8 people, signed up for this, they wouldn't be able to support it.
Nope.
They just do not have the necessary amount of terrain for wargaming. They have maybe sparsely, I'll give them 4 tables tops, and they can support it 8, but you'd have not a lot of terrain on the tables, and
you're gonna have to do team matches.
Well, that's my other problem. A lot of the time playing 40K at the Den, I'm getting sick of team matches a lot of the time.
I'm really surprised that you didn't play one last week, considering who was all there.
Well, that's what Skippy was like, because Skippy brought enough stuff. He's like, well, you guys could chop down and you could, play together, or Russ has enough guys here, because I only brought enough for 50 power level. Because, again, I always expect a team match, and I don't want to be playing it for 5-6 hours.
Right.
So
But that's why people don't want to play the solo matches right now, is because it takes 5 or 6 hours to get a single player match done.
Well, not a single player match, that's a team match. Single player match goes fast. Like Skippy and I's game only lasted like an hour and a half.
I swear to God, every single game I've played is the minimum has been 4 hours.
Well,
From the time I've entered the Den to the time we're finally putting away the models.
Well, you guys, I guess, do not have my encyclopedic knowledge of Warhammer, and don't have to consult the book as well. I don't have to consult the books very often.
You have cards, and you have 3 units, and you only have 2 unit cards, and you have those 3 units. That's all you need to bring per match.
I've been lazy lately. Even if I were to bring my Raven Guard out, I could bring like an entire 2,000 point Raven Guard army, and I would not have to look at the book maybe once in the whole game.
That's incredible.
I mean, I'm getting better about at least my army.
Right.
Granted, mine's not much to begin with, but all right, I got these abilities. I just got to sometimes remember what exactly my toughness is on a lot of my stuff.
I mean, even core rules of the game, I did check the disembarking rule, but I actually knew the disembarking rule, but I double checked it because it hadn't been a thing that came up for quite some time, but
everyone knows everyone understands the core rules. It's all the intricate rules, and then it takes time when
Mark, everybody does not understand the core rules of 40K. Much less their army rules at the Den, anyway.
Oh, I thought people kind of older than me kind of knew what their armies did. I guess not. Okay,
Mark. What are the rules for disembarking?
Fuck off. I haven't played in like a year. Shut up. I'm not even kidding. The last time I played was when we did the Armageddon.
I'm just saying, no one uses transports at the Den, and I ended up double checking it, but I said the disembarking rule as I understood it. It had been since 8th edition dropped was the last time I read it, and when I double checked the rule when we played the other week, and Dustin was there, it was exactly as I said it was.
Like I said, congratulations on your knowledge for that. That rule does not pertain to me
Yeah, it does.
because
Play Imperial Guard. Yeah,
I
Kenner.
don't use transports. I have a single transport.
You can play like Brett.
Fuck no, play like Brett. Oh god, we're not even making code. Fuck it, we're not even using code names anymore. I don't care. I will not play like him.
It's okay. It's okay, Mark.
Jesus Christ.
I had to do something to rile you up since I can't really bring up Rose Tico effectively in a conversation about 40k and Infinity.
Congratulations. You lost your thread.
But anyway, all BS aside.
All BS aside, yes.
Yep, life sucks for game stores. Now let's.
Well, at least the brick and mortar stores.
Well, yeah. Which is
the online stores aren't doing bad.
Well, of course not. They're online, and they're like, we don't have to really support a storefront. We can just sell stuff and make money.
The thing is, what I want to know is what in the world persuaded Rhonda and Joe to expand the way they did.
Well, they want to get more Magic players in.
Gotta get that sweet ad revenue.
Literally, that entire room is just tables for playing cards.
Yeah, I know, or playing board games. Yeah, I'm aware.
No, this is playing cards.
Really? That's it? It's not even a board game thing anymore?
No, that's in the war game area.
Yep.
That's stupid. The war game area should be ours.
No,
we get one table.
Yeah, we got our table in the corner, man.
That's really fucking stupid.
Hey, they did give us a small table to put stuff on now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're getting boned really hard.
We are. And my thing is, like, you might not make Magic card money, out of wargaming, especially immediately. But if you actually did, put time and effort and put tables in, and had things people wanted to get wargame related and ran wargaming events, you would make a fair amount of money off of wargaming.
I feel like Rhonda and Joe don't advertise wargaming enough.
No.
Enough? They don't do it at all, from what I really gather.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Yeah, right. I should rephrase that. The only wargaming events that have been done have been driven by myself, Sean, Russ, or any of the other serious wargamers.
Well, like case in point, like
okay, I'm the reason Age of Sigmar came back.
Yep.
No, I am. I am the sole reason why it came back. I pushed for Rhonda and Joe to make a campaign so that I could get people back in Age of Sigmar, so I could have people to play with. I pushed for that shit.
Obviously, they did a lot with that.
Yeah, and I'm not happy about that.
But that's the thing. Like, anything Magic related, they will be like, hey, new whatever crap for Magic, come down here for these dates and dates that we have for events and the times these events are happening. Come play Magic.
Or for a whole week.
Now, Wake the Dead is the next 40k box. Have they mentioned anything about Wake the Dead? Say, hey, we're going to have Wake the Dead this weekend. If you guys come in, you can get some Wake the Dead and play some 40k. Has that been mentioned?
Nope.
Have they even tried to promote Kill Team?
No, they haven't.
When the new Night Vault box just dropped, did they say, hey, we're doing Night Vault stuff. We've got Night Vault. Anybody want to come down and check out and play some Night Vault? Maybe
the thing is, when second edition came out, they advertised it, but they didn't do anything special for it.
For what?
Second edition, Sigmar.
A Sigmar? Well, no. I don't even think they really mentioned it.
No, Joe and Rhonda posted videos and links and stuff on the page.
That's all they do is say, oh, look, it's a thing. But they don't say, hey, we're going to have stuff in for it this week and we're doing a thing with it. They never do that. It's just like, oh, look.
I have to ask them when they have new models coming in from what. And that's when I finally find out if they actually have the new models for the new sets. I didn't know they were selling anything Soul Wars until I physically went in, a couple weekends ago when I saw you guys.
Yeah, well,
and I was like, you don't advertise this?
You know what? The only wargaming event that they posted anything about, aside from their league that you're doing, like in the past year?
What?
We've got Legion. We're having a Legion event.
Oh my god, are you joking?
No.
Okay, I don't mind Legion. I really don't. That's why I'm still getting the game. But it's like me, Skippy, and one other guy bought the starter kit and continued to buy models from the den. And I'm like, are you serious?
I am serious.
They had a Legion event.
Yeah, 2 people showed up for it. It was amazing.
Fucking knew it. I knew it. Ha!
That's the thing,
hilarious.
you know, like games that like I said, because I know you and Joe are big Star Wars fans, so that's why obviously Legion's huge. Not to mention they bought a lot of Legion stuff, so they're really
they have a whole they have a whole section of the wargaming wall just for Legion.
Yeah,
which no one really buys into at all.
I got the Veers model just because I wanted a hero, and also I was just sick of looking at Vader all alone.
Right.
Then he actually is a way better commander and way cheaper than Vader.
But that's the thing. It's like they don't have anybody that like walks by that stuff or hears about it other than the people that are big Star Wars fans that go,
right.
We want the new Legion releases. It's not like, oh, look at this Legion stuff. I think I should play this war game. No. Doesn't happen for most people.
Like they didn't even promote, like just earlier today, or it was like yesterday or today, the brand new Scout Trooper, which is an elite troop choice, which is brand new. Only the Rebels have a single thing of them, and the Empire just got theirs, and they haven't announced a single thing for Legion.
Right.
I mean, granted, it's not popular there, but you would think that, hey, it's wargaming news. They would release it. It's like, oh, hey, guess what? This brand new thing just dropped, and we're going to have the models here at the den. No one's going to find out about it until the physical model gets there. I didn't know that the Snow Trooper models came back into stock, even though I had personally asked Rhonda to tell me, like, message me when they came back in.
Mm-hmm.
They came back in about a week ago because they finally got enough models where everyone wasn't trying to overbuy them again. And so they had so I got mine out. I got my one unit that I'm getting off of Amazon because one, it's like $6 cheaper, and two, there was more of them available, and I don't even know if the wait time is, but I saw that they were out of stock, and then I just checked a few days ago, and they just got in stock, and I was like, wait, when was Rhonda going to tell me about this? And Rhonda still hasn't messaged me that they're back in.
Nope. And in fact, I think the only reason she even mentioned that Cold Front was in is because we kept bothering her every week about it.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, and like the topic of this video, Infinity is becoming huge where we game. I don't know where it is like nationally or whatever, but where we game, our area, it's like it's blowing up.
Oh, there's a lot of people that play Infinity.
I wouldn't say it's blowing up, but I would say it's catching steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's maybe a better word for it.
Yep. Especially since
catching traction.
Yeah. Term. Especially since CB is really, especially in the last year or so, they're really hammering new releases like every month.
They're really good about it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they're really good about it because I don't know, they have really good. I think they just have a good business model practice.
Well, the exclusive miniature thing is like a huge thing. I told Randall about exclusive miniatures yesterday, and he's like, "Oh no!" He's like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, I mean, I have a problem with exclusives. That's why I'm going to be struggling.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, there's an exclusive. Well, I got to get that now.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be red.
Should we segue back into Infinity and we'll talk about Cold Front and all the things in Cold
Yeah,
Front?
sure. Go ahead. Segue back since we brought it up again. Go ahead.
I even went and did all the legwork on all the models in the new Cold Front this morning.
Oh, you've been painting?
Well, no, I assembled the lists of all the models and what they do, so we can talk about every single model in Cold Front.
Oh God. Sean, you are quite the entrepreneur.
Mm.
When Infinity's concerned. But anyway, yeah, Infinity's the new 2-player starter set from Corvus Belli, featuring Ariadna and Aleph as the 2 armies that are represented. More specifically, the 2 new secretorials that were also launched alongside the game, which are the Tartare and the OSSS. The Operations Specialist something of Aleph. Drooling, yes. Oohs and ahs.
That's well, see, I don't really know what you're talking about at all. So I'm just kind of I'm gonna be a sponge for a few minutes.
Okay, well, ask questions if you have any questions about them. But yeah,
those are just 2 of the factions, right? Those are 2 of the bigger factions.
Yep, Aleph is the giant supercomputer that runs the entire human sphere and tries to keep everybody from totally blowing themselves up.
Oh, you mean like that's the thing that's trying to prevent all-out war?
Well, no, it's more managing the all-out war so everybody just doesn't blow everybody up.
Basically, so that the human race doesn't try to kill itself.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what Aleph does.
But doesn't Ayla have like a small army that kind of like acts out its will?
Yeah, that's part of what the OSSSS is. So that particular army, we can start with them since we're talking about them first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Like, their army consists of like a lot of post-humans, if you're familiar with high sci-fi. So you got people that are like more cyborg and
like the Cybermen.
They're very cybernetically enhanced. They're less what you consider a flesh and blood modern human. They have a lot of like the what you think like Terminators from the Terminator movies. They have like a lot of tactical robots and things of that nature in their army.
Interesting. So are they like? Are they one of those races that consider themselves above human?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're totally bent to the will of Aleph. So they don't look at like as themselves as superior to humans at all, because granted most of them are just artificial intelligences themselves, and they're
so this Ayla kind of runs their will.
Exactly.
Aleph.
Yeah, Aleph.
I'll get it.
It's okay.
But we still have someone pronouncing his own faction name wrong.
Oh, really?
Calls him Adrian.
Yep.
Or is it Madrian?
No. It's Ariana.
No, but
it's Ariana.
Arianda.
Russ keeps calling him Adrian.
Knew it'd be Russ. We're sorry, Russ, if you ever watch this.
He'll chuckle about it too. He chuckles when we correct him every time. So, but no, we'll start down the list here. One of the things you get in the new models. These are all new models, new sculpts also for Aleph.
So not only new models but new sculpts.
And new sculpts for all the models. Well, they did have models, but these are all new versions of all those models. Brand new sculpts of all those models. So the Yadu Troopers are tactical assault teams. You get one of those in the new box.
Tactical assault teams, are they like my military order sergeants?
Kind of, yeah, because these are also medium infantry. However, they're very fast for a medium infantry. They have a 4/4 move, so that's...
but they're not... Okay, so they're not as fast as me, but they're pretty fast.
Oh, yeah, for medium infantry, they're actually really quick. They're also fairly pricey for medium infantry, and we'll get into the reason why. So they have a really good stat line.
Really?
They have a really good stat line for these guys. You can fire team duo them, so that means you can pair them up with somebody else, which is nice. They have shock immunity, which is pretty nice for all that shock ammo out there, considering it's only a 1-wound model, so that's really handy. For the Yadu, they have no wound incapacitation. That's even better for the Yadu. Yep, they're veteran level 1, so that's pretty handy. Feature of them, which makes them lets them choose the outcome of their guts checks, and they don't go irregular or affected by retreat should your army enter the state of retreat. So that's a pretty handy thing to have. And they're also fire team core for the OSSSS.
What's that mean?
Fire Team Core is the largest type of fire team you can have in a Secretarial army, so you can have up to 5 guys linked together as a single unit. And it gives you a lot of order efficiency and a lot of buffs based upon the size of the fire team.
And so Fire Team Core is the largest.
Yes, and you can only have 1 Fire Team Core in any army list that you bring. So you can only have 1 core fire team.
This thing automatically gives you that.
Yes. So this is one of your Fire Team Core options. If you get like a bunch more, you only get 1 in the cold print box, but there's a lot of good utility out of the Yadu. They also have a Harris profile, so there's a lot of Fire Team profiles for the Yadu. So
is that a shock, or is that something that's a good Like, is that something that is a happy expectation? Like, yeah, like this is something good, or
it gives you a lot of flexibility with how you would use these guys, because they can be anywhere from a Fire Team Duo to a Fire Team Core to a Harris Fire Team. So those are all varying sized fire teams in Infinity.
Right.
Duo is literally a pair of guys. A Harris team is considered like a specialist group, so it might be a unit of specialists that are meant to do something. You know, they carry out a variety of.
So my sergeants would be like a triple fire team or something.
Well, like a Harris is generally three to 4, I think, depending upon the Harris 3 to 4 models. Unlike a core.
So my military order sergeants could be a Harris fire team
if they had that rule, but they don't. So.
I'm just throwing something out there in terms that I know.
Yeah. If they did have that rule, yes. But essentially what this means for the Yadu is they have a lot of fire team options, which gives you a lot of flexibility in how you would actually deploy them on the table. And they in their special fire team rules, they have a lot of specialist fire teams they can be in.
Really?
Yeah, so we'll go over that in a second here, but as far as their profiles that you can bring them as, they have a wide variety of weapon options and equipment options that essentially makes them what you'd call like a toolbox unit. So you can really get a Yadu to perform a specific role on the table that you need done. Everything from they have a hacking profile, a number 2 profile, forward observer, NCO, and lieutenant profiles for this particular troop choice in Infinity, which, you know, we don't have more than, you know, a few hours to talk about this. So there's a lot of things you can do with the Yadu. So they're just a very flexible choice for the OSS. And again, they're fairly pricey points wise. You're looking anywhere from 36 to 41 points for a single guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, however, with their options, you can stick one in a variety of places in your list. So you can get, again, this is a good toolbox choice, so you consider it, type trooper.
Right.
A lot of flexibility. Again, can perform a lot of different things for you. So very solid. I like the Yadu. Looks really good. Model looks cool. Yeah.
Do you have a Yadu army?
Well, not a Yadu.
An Ariata army?
I do now, being that I have Cold Front.
Mm.
I mean, I have a Yadu.
All the 150 points.
What about 150 points?
Said all the 150 points.
Yeah, well, it's 165 pointed out. I already pointed out what's in the box, so it's 165 points of ALF, roughly speaking.
Well, that's with the additional model, right?
The war driver, which we'll get into, you can't run with the OSSS.
I wasn't meaning the war driver. The additional, because it comes with a starter box and then another model.
Yeah, that's you got 7 orders in this, so all the models have been calculated into this. Because you got 3 Dakinis, a Naga, a Deva, a Shukra, and the Yadu.
But I mean, like, without that additional model, it would be 150, like the basic starter kit, correct?
Roughly, yeah. But yeah, we'll go to the next one.
I'm half sorry to interject here, but I am half tempted to get that army expansion that we talked about.
Yeah, you get the whole army box. It's very good. We can talk about that too after this.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and continue doing your thing.
Yeah, well, we'll go over a few things here and further iterate why there's like so many good army deals if you're wanting to get an Infinity with Corvus Belli. So they do a really good job that if you actually wanted to get in the game, there's quite a few a very tasty deal.
And it's cheap. I should point out, it is very cheap.
Yes, compared to other war games, it is incredibly cheap, which is good and bad because that means, oh, I don't have to spend a bunch of money, but it's like, oh, but I don't have to spend a bunch of money, and I can just keep buying all these things, getting all these exclusive minis, and I end up with all these armies that I haven't even gotten around to putting together yet. So
that sounds like you, Sean.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, believe me, it's an issue.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting that it isn't an issue. I'm just saying, like, that definitely sounds like Sean.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get around to actually play them all.
Right. That's
why I'm only getting the military order for now, because realistically, I'm only going to have time for one army.
Yep.
So I might as well just flesh out the first army I get.
That's actually the best way to go about Infinity, because you should really, one, learn how the game plays, and then figure out what everything in your army does and how to use it well.
Well, I mean, that's why I got the box that I did.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm absolutely terrible.
We all are. But anyway, moving on to the Shukra.
Moving on to
next
the
model
Shukra.
for the OSSS.
Yep.
And this is the Shukra. Shukra Consultants. These are a line infantry profile. Medium weight price. You're looking at 25 to 30 points, depending upon the flavor of Shukra you bring. The one in the box, I believe, is a boarding shotgun profile. Has a boarding shotgun as a weapon. So stat-wise, it's pretty quick. It's not the most resilient thing out there, but it's not terrible. Has biometric visor level 2, which is pretty nice for shutting down all those silly hollow projector shenanigans that exist in the game. So that's handy. It has counterintelligence as a special skill, which is pretty handy for if you end up going second. You can actually like when someone tries to burn a command point to reduce the amount of orders you have, you can negate that.
That part is good,
yeah. So that's a pretty handy ability. And then the other big thing in a lot of these profiles for the Shukra, there's only 3 of them, is it has chain of command. So that's a very handy ability in Infinity for one of your models to have, which what chain of command does, Mark, essentially, is if your lieutenant dies, this model would immediately become the new lieutenant, so you do not suffer the loss of lieutenant state while it's still on the table.
Oh, that's pretty good. So, like, say if, like, John died, I could have...
It would automatically fall to the next person in the chain of command.
Yep. Which would probably be one of my master sergeants.
If they have chain of command.
Yep.
Well, for my army, I know who that'd be, but...
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a really handy type of skill to have on the table.
I wish I had...
And a couple of things that some of us learned is that, thanks to Sean telling us, of course, is that you don't say when your lieutenant went down. You just go with it.
Yep. You don't even let them know.
As long as you have chain of command, don't let them know.
Hey, that's fine by me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to see if I have that role.
Right. Now, the next unit in the cold front for the ALF faction is the Naga. You get a brand new Naga sculpt for a Naga sniper.
Explain to the viewers what a Naga is.
That's
please.
The name of the unit. It's called a Naga.
Mm-hmm.
So they're special.
Wonderful explanation, buddy.
Well, that's just what it's called.
That's just what it is.
I know. It's just a lot of the viewers probably don't know what Infinity is or have only heard it in passing.
Well, if you let me continue, I'll tell you what a Naga does and why Nagas are cool and why you want a Naga.
All right. No worries.
So they are specialist troops. So that's the type of troop they are, as a specialist. They have a fairly okay stat line, pretty quick. Their special skills, they come with camouflage, which is really handy to have. Means they deploy in a marker state, so it means they're sneaky. They have infiltration, which is also really great for getting them up the table faster, when you're deploying them. They also have V-Dogged, so that's also really good. So should they get put down, they can go dogged and try to do a mad dash, before they expire for, one more turn, or for the rest of the turn anyway. They also have multi-terrain, so should you be playing with things like forests, rough terrain and stuff like that, they are not slowed down by those terrain features, so they're rather mobile and sneaky. So they're a mobile sneaky unit, which is perfect for a sniper profile, especially with camouflage and all the things that come along with having camo. Which again, I'm just leaving it at that. If not, I'd have to go into a half-hour diatribe of why camo's awesome.
Right. Of course, and we do not have. If only we had the time, but we do not.
Yeah. So, but Naga, very solid profile. Everybody should want one. So, good times with the Naga. And then looking up our next one here is we have the Devas. You get a Deva with this Deva functionary. So again, middle of the road price. There's no. I'm gonna put it out there now. There's no like super cheap units in the Triple S or operations subsection of the SSSS. But Devas are line infantry. Again, pretty quick. You know, not bad stats. They have no wound incapacitation, which is pretty good. And they are Fire Team Core, so this is another Fire Team Core option if you got a bunch of Devas. The one I believe that comes in the Cold Front box is probably your hacker for the Ayla. So this would be your hacking profile, and they do have really good whip, so makes for a very good hacker. Again, kind of like with a lot of other things, they have a fairly good spread of weapon options and things you can bring them as, and other special skills depending upon the profile you can pick up. So again, another rather versatile unit for the Ayla, so it can fit a variety of roles in your list. They have a Harris option aside from core with them. They also have duo option and special Harris option too, I believe them. So you can also bring them with Deva bots. So you can bring one with the Deva bot, which is pretty nice. Yep.
Oh wow! So basically, the Ayla are getting a big, or the Ayla armies are getting a real big boost.
Well, yeah. Well, they've had Devas have been around for a while, I believe. So they've just been moved into the operations, Ayla operations group in their secretarial. So that gives you some neat stuff, because you can run them out of generic Ayla too. So
right, but I mean, for this one, they're definitely getting that boost.
Yep. But yeah, you can also bring Deva bots with them, which are just a robot, with the heavy flamethrower, which is pretty handy. That they could have desynced Deva bots with them. But that is everything that comes in the operations Ayla package. So it's we haven't got over the Dakini. I forgot about Dakinis. Okay, go over the last unit, the actual last unit in the Ayla box. As soon as I find it, because they have quite a few profiles. I'm throwing it out there. I mean, like, scrolling through this, they've got almost 20 different options, probably 20-ish.
Oh, the Aleph?
Yeah, in the Aleph group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that thing. Much larger than that of the Space Russians, which we'll go over next. But Dakini TAC bots are essentially your troops in this Aleph box. You get 3 of them. They are line troopers, even though they're remote. So these are the Terminator things I was talking about. They're just robots. They're robot people. They're remote presence, so they suffer all the pros and cons of being remote presence. They have mimetism, which is really good on a base line troop profile, and they are Fire Team Core. And they have a fair bit of weapon options and things that you can take them as. So not many like specialist troop profiles to perform specialist roles. They do have a paramedic option, but that's, I think, the only specialist they have. And then they have two special fire teams that they can be a part of. So again, pretty solid. They're 13 points each for the cheap ones, and I think that's like the cheapest thing you get in the ALF operations group here. But yeah.
So a very versatile group.
Oh yeah, and so with some very tough profiles. A fair amount of known wound incapacitation makes them fairly tough. Tough to deal with a lot of the time.
All right, so since we're done with that, let's talk about my own army and that new military order expansion that just came out.
Okay, we can come back.
Let's talk. Yeah, I'm just trying. We're done with the Ava, so why not just
We still had one more
I
army.
was talking about the Ultimate box.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we just talked about one half of it.
Oh, my bad. Oops.
It's okay.
That's my bad.
All right, we'll come back to you. We'll come back to your stuff. It's okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's my B.
Yep. Now we have,
go ahead and do the other half.
We have the Army of Tartary, essentially the Tartary Army Corps, which is Space Russia. Essentially, that's what this is. You familiar with Russia, Mark? Do you know what Russia is?
I am very familiar with Russia. Let's carry on.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
But the first thing we'll talk about, we'll kind of do this in reverse compared to how we broke down the ALF operations here, are the line Kazakhs. These are, you get 3 of them in the box. These are your basic line infantry. Now, they're nothing fancy. They have no special rules other than their fire team core. Pretty I mean, it's not like a super awesome profile, but not super bad. But that's what you expect for a guy that costs 9 points. They do have a special fire team, so you could bring 4 Kazakhs with a Frontovic, which is not in the box, so you'll have to get a Frontovic later if you want one. But a fair variety of different weapon options and specialist options and things you can bring with line Kazakhs. So they're just a good overall, basic line infantry choice for your army. So nothing fancy, but pretty good to have them along. So
a good line unit.
Exactly. That's exactly what they are. I mean, they don't have like awesome things like mimetism and stuff like the Dakinis, but again, they're 4 points cheaper per guy, so that's actually a fairly big deal in Infinity when you're trying to plan out a list. So pretty good. Now the impressive thing in the box is up next that everybody looks at and oohs and ahs over, which is the Armata 2 Project, the Ratnik. That's what it's called. That's its full name. But the Ratnik is the guy in the power suit. It's the power armor guy. It's the tag that's not a tag, essentially. So pretty solid. It's considered heavy infantry for unit type. Has Minesweeper, which can be handy, for those jerks that put mines everywhere. This unit, being that it's a weird power suit thing, again, not a tag, it has a dual profile.
Yeah, that's funny.
So it has its full power profile, and then it has battle ravaged profile. So essentially how this unit works is when it takes a wound, it drops to battle ravaged. And if you fix it, it can go back to full power, but it has a degrading profile, essentially, in Infinity. But it can be fire team duo, so you can pair it with something else, maybe another Ratnik or something else. It's low tech, so you can't hack it, even though it's heavy infantry. So I believe you can't hack it. No, it just had battle ravage. You can actually hack this thing. Never mind. You can hack these. It just means it's shitty low tech stuff. It's a heavyweight, so you can't go through doorways. It's too fat. And it has Dogged, though, which is pretty interesting for a unit like this. So it does have that. If it loses its last wound, you can do that last sprint for glory and try to kill some people. And the only thing I was a little saddened about by this unit that came in the box, it's a cool model. I really like the way it looks. But there's going to be another one in the near future is the thing. Because it has 2 profiles. However, you only get one of the profiles in the box. So there's going to be another Ratnik eventually. But you get the heavy rocket launcher, heavy shotgun version of the Ratnik in the box. Again, it's not bad, but not the one I would prefer out of the 2 profiles, because the other one is significantly better. Its weapon options are significantly better compared to this one, especially which we'll get into my final thoughts about the Ariadne here with what you get. Yeah, you'd rather have the other one. But next guy up is Ariadne Scouts. Now, this is a specialist infantry choice. Very, very handy guy, decent profile. They have camouflage, infiltration, multi-terrain, and marksmanship level 1. So there's a lot of shenanigans you can pull with a model like this. It makes them very sneaky and potentially very painful when they pop out and get people. However, you know, the profile in here is the boarding shotgun profile, which is okay. But again, we just talked about with the Ratnik, it has a heavy shotgun, so you're getting another, you know, big shotgun guy. Granted, a sneaky one, but you'd probably want something like the Ohotnik or the AP sniper rifle version of the Scout eventually. But still not terrible. But again, I'd rather have one of the sniper versions. The Ohotnik, by the way, is just essentially a big game rifle. So it's just an alternate sniper, just different named gun. Because, I mean, Ohotnik sounds awesome. So why not?
Okay.
All right. Next thing, and one of the cooler looking models in the box is the Veteran Kazakh. And Veteran Kazakhs are awesome, and get ready for your Always Sunny memes that have been all over the internet ever since this guy was announced in the new profile here. I shared them with Spud.
Are they on Discord?
No, this was in our Steam chat. But
I was half hoping you'd put them on Discord so I could laugh with you.
I mean, have you seen Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Not for a long time.
Okay, well, you might get it if you watched enough of it when I mentioned this in a little bit here. So
I've never seen that.
Yep. So Veteran Kazakhs are heavy infantry, and they are a very solid choice for the Space Russia here, the Tartare. They're not hackable. So they're heavy infantry you can't hack. They have shock immunity, which is always handy because they're also only for a heavy infantry model, they are only a 1-wound model. They have mimetism, which is really handy if you know your opponent does not have a visor at all. Makes them even more resilient as heavy infantry. They have a veteran level 2, so they have 6th sense and no wounding capacitation. So the very, very useful things to have. Means the Veteran Kazakh is very tough, hard to hit in a lot of cases, with some, you know, some fair utility. It can also be Fire Team Core for Tartare, but they're rather pricey for Fire Team Core. But you could do a core link of Veteran Kazakhs if you wanted, which is kind of nice. They have a lot of weapon options that are pretty neat. A lot of specialist options, but for weapons, you can have everything from AP rifles to AP HMGs, boarding shotguns, and T2 rifles. That's the big thing. They do have access to T2 rifles, which are very handy for anybody getting into Infinity. T2 rifles are fairly rare, so
good guns.
Yeah, very, very good gun. And they all, for the most part, have light flamethrowers on top of having those guns. So gives them a lot of versatility in how they would engage people and make life difficult for everyone. But on top of being a standard core, they have 2 fire team specialties, which is 3 vet Kazakhs with 2 Frontovics is a special fire team for them, and they're also a wild card trooper. So now do you get it, Mark? Do you know about the wild card? Sonny?
Yeah, now I get it.
Where Charlie's like, I'm wild card, bitches. And
Yeah,
jumps out back of the van.
I get it now. I didn't get it before. Like I said, I haven't looked up any of those profiles yet or anything.
Yep, they're wild cards. That means a veteran Kazakh can join any fire team in the Kazakh Secretarial Army, which is what Tartare is.
Right.
So you can take one of these guys and tack them on to any fire team that you can make in this group, which makes them a very
for the army, yeah.
Yeah, well, it makes them very versatile in where you can put them in your list. So that's pretty good.
Oh, so like the universal dildo of the Infinity. Awesome.
Pretty
Good to
much.
know.
You want some more heavy firepower? You know, more.
I don't think Spud liked my naughty joke.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll forgive you. Well,
I don't care.
At least I will. In this case,
I don't think Spud ever will.
it's all right. It's okay.
This is a fancy looking wall.
Isn't it though? But anyway,
I'm so glad
next
we're not
unit up.
I'm so
Don't
glad
worry,
we're not
Mark. You only have to get through 2 more, and then we can start talking about the military orders. It's okay.
Right?
So next thing up is the tank hunters. So you get a brand new tank hunter sculpt in this, and it's a very cool looking model. Tank hunters, good profile. They have camouflage and V courage, so it makes them sneaky, good. But their weapon options are pretty tasty. Everything from AP rifles, AP HMGs, portable autocannons, and missile launchers means this is going to be the guys you bring along to kill things big that you want dead.
Like cav units and stuff.
Yep. And they also have a chain of command option as a tank hunter, so pretty useful profile in this army. So tank hunters, having 1 or 2 of them along, probably a good idea in this. So it's definitely a thing you want. So tank hunter, I like it. It's good. Looks awesome.
Nice. Seems like a very heavy army choice.
It is medium infantry as far as its classification goes. So it does have decent armor and everything, but being it's a camo troop with some rather good weapon options for a camo troop, you know, you can surprise some people with this guy and cause some hurt when they reveal themselves. So, but yeah,
Right.
no, because brief thing about camo. So camo troops start as a camo marker, so you don't even know what it is on the table.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a marker on the table. You write down, you know, on your sheet, you know, this camo marker number 2 is this guy, and the enemy actually has to try to discover this guy before they can even shoot at it. So this thing can move around without, you know, being shot easily by anybody. And on top of that, when they drop camo, they can do what's called a surprise shot when they shoot. So you're getting the drop on somebody, and it gives them bonus and you big minus to shooting back at them. So,
really,
yep, a pretty tasty unit, the tank hunter. So anything camo in Infinity can ruin somebody's day, but at the same time, there are things that counter camo in the game. So, and if it's not one of those things that counters it, you know, this guy could cause some pain to your opponent. So, like armies that wouldn't be bothered so much by things with camo, or armies like Pan-Oceania, Yujing, and Aleph. They're pretty much predominantly the 3 that have the most visors MSV units in the game. So. But you do get those options elsewhere, like JSA has a couple, and a few other armies do have them. Ariadna is probably one of the only factions, I think Hawk also, that don't have any MSV units, I don't think.
I think I've got something that's got MSV 1.
Yeah, you got like 1 MSV unit, yeah.
Yeah.
But you definitely don't have any MSV 2 or 3 units in the game.
No.
Or what you really, really want just to go F you camo guy.
Mm-hmm. To replace that with mines.
Right.
Well, okay. Why I'm wondering if I have any like units that are worth any of that salt.
There are, and I'll go over that when we talk about your army in just a moment, because we have one final unit to talk about in Tartary.
All right, let's do it.
Well, this is more than just a Tartary unit, because this is the exclusive mini. If you pre-ordered Cold Front, or you get it very soon, is the War Driver Hacker. So, that, as the name implies, it's a hacker. It's a mercenary hacker unit that can be used with Tartary. So, unlike the Aleph side of this box, you have one more model than that you can use as the Tartary. So, if you're splitting this box with your friend, you know, get the War Driver because your buddy can't use it.
Right.
It is also the only hacker available to Tartary and a lot of the Ariadna forces, because they're not very good at doing things like that. So, So this is your hacker, and pretty decent hacking profile. Not the best, not the worst. Has a boarding shotgun.
I'm being beckoned.
You're being beckoned?
Be back in a bit.
Okay. But this is another boarding shotgun guy. So, like, in this list, out of your 8 guys, like 3 of them have shotguns. Someone's backing up.
Not. That's That's my house.
Do you want to see if you're on fire?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll run the show while everybody's gone. It's okay. So to fill dead air here while everybody else is dealing with fires and being beckoned. Yeah, Tartaray is pretty interesting faction. Lot of versatility in units you can bring. Outside of the box, you have access to a lot of antipodes, which are big space dog things, which are pretty neat. Overall, very solid faction, low tech. So if you like the rugged, Russian militarized look, these models definitely have that, and I'm really digging them. In fact, this is probably my next Infinity army that I'm going to do in Infinity. So they look really neat, and I can't wait to get more of the stuff, like the Frontovics, which are not out yet, so they should hopefully be out soon. I do have the new box of Kazakh Spetsnaz on the way, so you get some of those guys, and they're a very nasty troop, obviously being Spetsnaz, so they are angry guys like people would expect from their real life counterparts. I got the new Strelok on its way. I can't wait to get that. I got some remotes, which are the tractor moles for Tartaray, which are essentially big missile, like Katusha, multiple rocket launch platforms, which are pretty neat. So yeah, really enjoying the look of Ariadna here. So, but that is it for Cold Front. At least the miniatures in Cold Front. On top of it, if anybody's considering getting Cold Front, like getting into Infinity and splitting it with a buddy, it does come with some paper terrain and a game mat. So if you get this with a friend or split it, you got everything you need right out of the gate to play a game of Infinity. It has a campaign book that comes with it. So there's a little mini campaign to introduce you to Infinity. Any of the 2-player starter boxes are a great way to get into Infinity. Cold Front being the latest. There are 2 other ones out there. If say Ariadna and Aleph are not to your liking, after you go look at some of them online, see what they look like. They've got Operation Red Veil, which is the Yujing and Hakaslam are 2-player starter. So that, again, much like this, that has their own there's an exclusive miniature in it for each faction, and unfortunately you don't get the special pre-order mini like in the case of Cold Front right now, which was the War Driver. I believe back then it was the Yan Yan was the exclusive mini that came with it. So you still might find those out there floating around, but they're pretty rare at this point. But again, it's a good solid 2-player starter, dice, campaign book, terrain, and everything, for 2 players. So always a good deal. The first one and the oldest one, which it's how I kind of started in Infinity, was the Operation Ice Storm box. So in Operation Ice Storm, you have both Pan-Oceania and Nomads, which are 2 pretty cool factions. I enjoy them, but again, same deal. They kind of pioneered these 2-player starters the way they do them anyway with that. So they've got again, exclusive miniature for both factions, terrain, dice, campaign book, all that fun stuff. So if you're looking to jump into Infinity with a buddy, or just looking to even expand if you're already an Infinity player and you just want a good start in 2 different armies, or just to check out 2 new factions, this is a great way to go about it. So gonna hop over to the Corvus Belly store here and see what we got going on. Corvus Belly store. They left me. Chat, they left me. We don't have anybody in our chat, but people in the future that are watching this, I want you to know that they left me. Left me all alone to carry this. I'm getting thirsty. I need more water. It's sad when I've got to carry the show. But anyway, Chorus Belly. Get ready to show Mark his new, or talk about Mark's new army box they got coming up. Facciones. Facciones. There's a new Joan of Arc model that just came out, which is really cool. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it. I like it a lot. I guess I'll have to go find it in here. Yeah, definitely. Check out Infinity, guys. You'll like it. You'll like it. Scrolling through my releases. Seriously though, did Mark die and Spud just left me hanging because, you know, they do that? A lot of fun exclusives in Infinity lately. Like every year at Gen Con, they usually do a whole slew of convention exclusives you can get, which are pretty cool. Do enjoy those. I picked up Dart Optimate Huntress, which also is a unit you can use in the ALF operations from the new Gold Run box. A very tasty profile. A very tasty unit. Trying to think what else. I can't talk about Mark's Pirates because I have no idea what, you know, he wants with the pirates and things, but, you know, can you do, I guess. Seriously though, guys, why am I the only one here? I guess I'm gonna eat up the last hour just rambling on about random things here. Nice if we had people in the chat, so at least I could refer to the chat and go, "Hey, got any questions? We'll answer those here and stop going into weird tirades about randomness." I hope they listen to this back to hear me complain and randomly throw out stuff just to fill dead air that would be constantly going on. Let's see here. You know what everybody should play when they're not playing miniature war games? The best kind of games, you know, that people can play is you should play World of Warships, because that is the best free-to-play computer game known to man right now, because real men play it. And it has warships that may or may not have waifu captains, depending upon your warship. So if you like waifu captains and you like warships, you'll love that game. I play it too much. Mark really sucks at it. Can't wait for him to listen to that and play back. But anyway. So how do we save Legion with Rose Tico? That could be a new topic of conversation. I mean, Mark really loves Rose Tico. She is his favorite character in the Star Wars universe. He's told me so on multiple occasions. He enjoys her outlook on life, and, you know, not killing the things that she hates, but saving the things she loves. Mark believes that's the best philosophy in the world. So here, what else does Mark really love aside from Rose Tico? He thinks Pablo Hidalgo is the best writer ever. He agrees with everything that Pablo Hidalgo has written about Star Wars. He believes in the vision and the plan of Kathleen Kennedy to make Star Wars the greatest franchise of all time. He believes that Disney as a company, they are the best thing to ever happen to Star Wars. He really is excited about the new Resistance animated show. He thinks it's the closest thing to anime he's ever seen in his life. Let's see here. What else does Mark like right now? Well, we'll talk about Mark a little bit here. Let's see here. His house is on fire. So I may be the one in charge of the show from now on. I have a feeling because Mark's house burnt down just now. Is my guess why he hasn't come back yet. That's always a tragedy. Shouldn't let your house burn down. Never a good thing. Hope he's insured. Spud's probably off eating, enjoying food that I wish I could be doing. Which, by the way, I had a delicious beef tongue sandwich yesterday. It was fantastic. I couldn't have asked for anything better. Had plenty of jalapenos and avocado and all kinds of other things on it that was tasty. I'm gonna have to get one next weekend too. I think I'm gonna have to get me one of those beef tongue sandwiches. That was good. It's excellent. So I mean, this is also one thing I think that should be outside of every game and hobby store is you need an authentic Mexican taco truck, no taco truck, hanging out in front of your store. I know all the people in Southern California and Southern Texas and stuff. They're like, dude, got the taco truck everywhere, taco truck all over the place. We are not from those areas of the United States, so we unfortunately, it's very rare for us up here to find authentic Mexican food. And they're like, Sean, how would you know what authentic Mexican food tastes like? And I'm like, I'm well traveled. I have been to these places I just mentioned where there is authentic Mexican food everywhere, and I've had it, and it is delicious. And I think Taco Bell, while a great fast food chain, that's not real Mexican food. People can fight me on that. Anybody that's had real Mexican food will agree. Like, that's not real Mexican food, that Taco Bell. Even though it is tasty. I don't know why it's so tasty, but it is. But yeah. Wait till they get back, and I am going to be tickled when they listen to this later and go, what did Sean talk about for like a half hour while they were gone? Just all the things that Mark loves and taco trucks, because those make the world go round, make us all happy on the inside. Let's see here. I've been playing some video games lately. Anybody get the new Valkyria Chronicles? Great game. Finally, what we all wanted, a remake of the first game, essentially. It's a good time. Everybody should play it. Fan of strategy games. Also, semi-cheesy, JRPG dialogue, but hey, pretty solid game. I'm enjoying it. What else have we been playing lately? Aside from Valkyria Chronicles and World of Warships, not much as far as PC gaming goes, or even console gaming for that matter. Everybody has heard I'm a painter, so I'm currently working through a Deathwatch army project. So it's an entire Deathwatch army I got to paint. So that'll be fun. So the next few weeks I'll be painting nothing but Deathwatch. So that'll be a thing. Maybe if we get an actual Facebook group, I'll post some pictures of it up on there or something. Show people what I'm working on. Still have barely gotten ready for the Renegade Open that's happening in November, but hopefully I'll be ready by the time Renegade Open happens. Going to be playing in a 40K team tournament with my buddy Russ, who we've mentioned several times on this podcast. So he's playing as Space Wolves. I'll be bringing Imperial Knights, and we'll see how that works. And then there's going to be a 2-day Infinity narrative event. So I think I'm going to be hopefully getting the Space Russians ready in time for that, and running the new Space Russians in the narrative campaign. So that should be pretty fun. Be a good time. Drink lots of beer. Either way, if we're winning, celebrate with lots of beer. If we're losing, just drink lots of beer and blame it on the beer. That's the good way once you're of age to play war games. Seriously though, they've abandoned me. This should just be Sean talks to himself for an hour podcast is what we should rename this to. In fact, I'm gonna have him remove also pirates from his tag down there and go, and Sean talks to himself for an extended period of time. Yep. Man. Without Mark here to talk about his army box, for Infinity that he wanted to talk about, there's not a whole lot to talk about in that regard, other than like just ramble about more Infinity in general. No, I would highly recommend everybody if you're looking for a deep, war game, miniature war game, check out Infinity. Its rule system is very tight. It's fairly crunchy though compared to other game systems, which is good and bad, being that it does take quite a bit for you to get all the rules down, but once you've got them, the game itself is very tight. So when a rule is written in Infinity, it's not just like an ambiguous, half paragraph or something like a lot of them end up being in like Warhammer and stuff. It's very cut and dry when they lay out rules in this game. They give you instances of how the rule works, things like that. So it's very specific how things interact with each other and in what order they interact. And another fun thing, unlike a lot of other war games, I mean, for you to hop into it, get the rule book, and get your army list and stuff, it's all free. All free in Infinity. If you want that stuff, you can buy it. So you can buy the rule books and things for Infinity, and you get 2 books every time you buy one. So you get an actual rule book, which is just nothing but rules and lists. And then you get a fluff book, which is kind of nice. So Infinity does have some pretty cool fluff. Again, it's very anime inspired, near future, like post scarcity stuff. So it's not grimdark or anything like that. So it's it's a fun high sci-fi, setting in Infinity. I'm really enjoying it. So if you like, cyberpunky stuff and high sci-fi, I really think this will be a game probably up your alley. But I guess in other news, we've been playing lots of Weiss Schwartz down at the game center. Oh, I heard somebody.
Yeah, that's me.
Good, you talk for an hour.
I'm sorry. She apparently the roommate almost burnt dinner, and then I was surprised with dinner. So surprise dinner. That's why my leave of absence was longer than only 5 minutes.
I want you to know I said nothing but nice things about you in like the 10
Bullshit.
minutes. You made me sit
I'm gonna
here.
watch this. I'm gonna watch this tomorrow at work because I'll probably have some downtime at work, and I will be like, that asshole.
What? I said nothing but nice and truthful things.
Bullshit.
It was all on the level for the future prosperity on the internet, future posterity.
Spud.
They'll hear it. Spud's still gone because you both abandoned me.
Where did Spud go?
He said he had to go, and then immediately, like, my house is on fire. I'll be back. And I'm like, okay, I'll sit here and talk to myself for an extended period of time.
Spud is still gone? Seriously?
Yes.
You've been talking to the viewers, if there are any in the future, for like a half hour almost, all by yourself?
By myself. Because
I give you credit. I give you credit, my friend.
You guys are assholes. That's why. Because you
I
probably
was an emergency.
Both you and him. He's probably off eating dinner too. You know what I wish I was doing? Eating some dinner at this time of day. That would be fantastic. But no, I'm sitting here. I'm talking to myself largely.
You're talking to the audience of the future as a whole.
Right.
Treat them nicely.
Right, but we have no viewers right now, so literally it's just me talking to myself.
Sean, you must think about the future, not the now.
Yes, one day I'll be fortunate when you guys abandon me so you can go eat and make me sit here and talk. That there might be somebody in the chat room that I can be like, oh, do you have any questions? And I can interact with some people. But no.
In the future, I hope to have many more subscribers than what I do. And when I do hopefully have that future, then if we do that, then Sean, you will no longer be lonely.
Yay. I also have a dog by then.
Probably.
I'm getting a dog soon.
Oh, really? What kind of dog?
Getting a pug dog.
Oh, really? A pug of all dog? Really? A pug?
The best dogs are the ones that look like they ran into a wall.
The ones that have retard written all over their face, you mean?
Exactly. Those ones.
Oh, wonderful. I can see you have a dog. You're home a lot.
Pugs are happy. I just want a dog that's going to be stupidly happy every
Pugs
time.
pugs are simple.
Exactly. So that's why I'm getting one of those. And I also don't want to deal with a giant shedding machine that I have to wrestle around.
Yeah.
Like so I'm getting a pug dog so I can have a friend.
Sounds about right.
Not my asshole cat.
Yeah, well, I mean, you do have an asshole cat.
It's fat and it tries to kill me.
Sounds about right.
It's very true.
Well, we got about 1 more hour till the stream ends, so what you want to do?
Well, I was going to talk about your army box whenever you're ready for that.
Well, okay, no, yeah, let's talk about that now. Yeah, I mean, Spud's not here, but yeah, sure. Let's talk about military order. That's so for those of you who don't know military order, well, I'll talk for a minute while you're booting that up. So, for those of you who don't know, military order is one of the branches of the Pan-Oceania Army for Infinity. And they're like a fast attack elite choice. They're like the Crusaders of this new sci-fi modern era. And I have a few models myself, and I plan on getting more here in the future. And this box is definitely something I'm looking into. So, Sean, you got that booted up?
I do. I have the box.
All right, let's talk.
I got it right now. So.
All right, let's talk.
What you're getting in the box is a unit that you already have, one of them.
The sergeants?
Well, these are new sergeants there. We'll get to them in a second.
Okay, no worries.
You don't have these sculpts of the sergeants, so.
Well, are you talking about Joan?
Yeah, Joan. She's probably the one that you have already.
Yeah, I have the one where she's standing on top, where the alternate head choice, where she's standing on top of the big guy.
Yep.
I have that one.
Got the sword pointing there, so that's the one.
Yeah. I think that's version 2.
Version 3, actually 4.
Really? That's version 4?
Because there were 2 before her, and then when they released that painting book, there was an exclusive 3rd version of Joan that you only got through that.
Okay.
And then she came out after that, this Joan, and then there's now the new mobility one that replaces the 2nd Joan, so that's the 5th Joan. Right there, the new,
okay.
One. But yeah, it's nice that they keep updating their models, though. So. Well,
yeah, it makes it better. Here, they're selling the new the mobility armor, Joan d'Arc. They're selling her for $14.95. That's American converted. So she looks like a really neat model.
Yeah.
And you also are getting you don't get Gabriel with it. He's just a unique hero.
Not Deferzen, he's not in that. But if
the Magister Sergeants are, though, aren't they?
The Magister Knights?
Yes, them guys.
No, they are not in that box.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the brand new box right now. Just give me a minute.
It's not on the website. You'd have to go on their blog and find it. So
on their blog.
It's actually coming out in October, I think, is when this army box will drop. But,
well, I mean, yeah, they are selling the models, though. I will let everyone know they are selling the models. Oh, I have multi-rifle version. That's what I have, the multi-rifle version. Okay, yeah. but for the audience who doesn't know,
what's the difference in the 2 drones?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Tell them the 2 differences, because I actually wouldn't know that much.
So the one you get in this box is actually the one most people prefer to run, which is the Hospitaller version of Joan. So she's a very heavy infantry profile, heavy infantry stats. I think we went over her special skills earlier, but yeah, she has good special skills. As she has a multi-rifle, which is okay. It's a pretty versatile weapon. They have
pretty standard amongst military order.
Yep, multi-rifle nanopulsar. She comes in pretty much just a non-lieutenant version and lieutenant version. You're gonna, odds are, if you're bringing this version of Joan, she's your lieutenant. And unlike a lot of people, she actually gives you more SWC. So a little side thing for Infinity, there's 2-point costs in Infinity. Is your standard cost for units that you bring, and then you have a special weapon cost. So this is how they balance and limit the amount of things like heavy machine guns, rocket launchers, and things like that people can bring, because they all have a special weapon cost associated to them. So a standard 300-point army can only have 6 points special weapons in the list. With Joan in your list, you can have up to 7. So she gives you a little bit more room to bring some heavier firepower if you wanted in a list.
And she does give you some unique buffs.
Yeah, with her inspiring leadership thing. So that's also a very handy skill to have.
Basically, it's more difficult to retreat, and all that good jazz.
Yep. So now, mobility armor version of Joan, she's not as heavily armored as the regular Joan is, so you lose some arm taking her. Her stats are otherwise the same. Her movement changes up a little bit.
Right.
You gain kinematica with her, and multi-terrain, so that makes her a little bit more mobile than regular Joan, hence the mobility armor version. But the big changes for her, instead of a multi-rifle, she's carrying a Spitfire, which is essentially a light machine gun, so that gives her a high burst weapon, which is pretty nice. And you also actually, for her in this, which is probably my favorite, but it's a non-lieutenant version of Joan, is you have an explosive close combat weapon profile with the mobility armored Joan. So if you're taking Joan and you're not using her as a lieutenant, in this case, pretty decent like character choice. Unlike the other Joan that gives you SWC, all these costs, all of her profiles and mobility armor either cost you 2 SWC or 1. So she actually costs you SWC rather than gives you some in this version. So. But this was definitely a far more aggressive version of Joan if you wanted to use her as like a killie piece rather than the quarterback, as it were.
See, I like her as the quarterback because I'm not I'm okay. Here's because my play style is I'm not really aggressive. I mean, I am, but I'm not. And that's what I like about this version of Joan that I have.
Yep.
Is because she's, she, like you said, she's the quarterback.
Yep. Thing is, though, we'll get into it as we're talking about military orders. They are actually an army you have to be very aggressive with.
Yeah, so I can see why you would choose this version of her. But also at the same time, a quarterback with a heavier armor is not a bad choice.
Yeah, it makes her much harder to kill. So a lot of people prefer the one you're talking about. The
one I have.
Yeah, the one. They prefer that version of Joan over mobility armor. I can see use for the other one, but she'd be the one you're not likely to run. However, the new model is really cool looking.
No, I agree. I'm looking at the model right now. I think it's a wonderful looking sculpt.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not it's not a version of Joan that I would have in my army.
Yep.
As much as I love the new box.
Yep.
And as much as I would probably get it. She'd basically just be a model that I would make and paint, and then that's it. I would have no reason for running her in any of the lists that I'm thinking, because I'm also thinking, as you know, Sean, about getting the, what was it, on page number 4 here, I believe, of their store. No, maybe it was page number 3, but it was their, the two, the Cav. Oh yeah, the Seraph. The Seraphs, yeah.
Yep, I have the Seraph.
The military order armored cavalry, which you get 2 of.
Yeah, you only get 1 of those. You only get
you only get the 1? I thought it was 2.
It comes with an Oxbot is the thing. So you do get 2 models in it. It comes with a little Oxbot
right, yeah. Right.
Yeah. You are right. With how much a Seraph costs, it's hard to fit Joan and it in a list at the same time, because a Seraph is a big point sink, And it's also, it would be hard to fit a Knight Link in with the Seraph. You could have a couple Knights in your list, but
Yeah,
your main core fire team's probably going to be
but
usually.
that's not to diss on the Seraph as a worthless point sink, because
No, a Seraph it's a pretty cool unit. As far as tags go, it does some pretty neat stuff. There's you can plan around a Seraph to make a Seraph work.
Well, the thing is, it's got an overly large Spitfire rifle.
Yeah, so it's got a Spitfire.
And it's got the Oxbot, so I mean, you have options when you're running it.
Yep. And it has super jump as one of its special things. So it's actually
yeah, it does. So it can jump higher, can't it?
Well, what super jump does for you is that if you use a long skill to super jump, it can jump essentially its full move. It's like both of its move values added together. It can jump that far. Yeah. So.
That's nice.
Yep. So,
I've been thinking about getting one just to have that, that Seraph flexibility in my army.
Yeah, it makes it very mobile.
Well, you guys have told me that getting a Seraph would not be a bad idea.
No, it's not bad. You just have to adjust your army composition to.
Well, I mean, I don't really have much of an army to begin with, so I mean, it's not like I've sank in, into like, oh, this is how I play, kind of a thing. I only have literally Joan and the starter box.
Yeah. But if you get this army box, though, you get what is largely what people refer to as the Joan Pain train, and it is a standard way of running
military order, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Gabriel isn't a bad profile either.
No, and you do want to pick him up, and we'll talk about that now with the next unit I'm going to talk about in the army box. If you buy this army box, is you get
go ahead.
You get a full unit of the Knights Hospitaller, or the Knights at the Hospital. So these are the guys that form the core link with Joan. So Joan joins these guys, as part of the link team. So that's
Joan. Didn't you tell me they were like her healers or something like that?
Oh, you can get one. So they do have a doctor profile in one of the Knights. So you usually bring a Knight Doctor to pick Joan up or anybody else that that can be there. And why you'd get Defersen too, because they have a special fire team where it's 3 Knights of the Hospital with Defersen and Joan as the fire team. So that's a very strong link. You can get another HMG in the link team by bringing a hospital knight with an HMG, which is in that box that you in the army box. One of them does have an HMG. So you'd bring like a knight doctor, you bring an HMG doctor, and either a boarding shotgun or a multi-rifle, whichever you're suiting your fancy at that time. Probably a boarding shotgun is my guess. So it gives you some added oomph for a template weapon at close range if anything gets close to the link team.
Right.
But Defersen is a really good hacker, so that's why you'd bring Defersen, and he's probably your best hacker option in military orders. He does not come in that army box, but that'd be a thing you'd buy, separate, and then swap him out for the Knights, or for one of the Knights. Because he's
not a bad option, all things considered.
Oh, he's really good because Defersen has a Spitfire too, so you end up with a unit with a lot of firepower with Defersen and an HMG Knight in it. And again, too, if you were really wanting to make a super aggressive link, this is where you can make the argument for mobility armor Joan, because in that single link you could have 2 Spitfires and an HMG.
Really?
Yes, with that. So you could have a very aggressive link that has a lot of firepower.
I will also point out to everyone right now that it, just like other war games, this series, even though it's like super cheap to get the models, because it really is, it is totally worth your time getting these army boxes that we're talking about.
Yep. So like this one is going to be like $100, I think. So it's going to be like 100 maybe.
But you're literally getting a new version of a hero. You're getting hospitalars. You're getting no, you don't get a hacker with this one, do you?
Yes, you do.
Okay, you're getting a hacker, and then you're getting so many others.
So, and we'll talk about that with like where you're getting all the hackers and other things in the next unit we'll talk about is the order sergeants. So you got
the ones I have.
Well, no, these are new ones. So you got the old order sergeants in the military order starter box that you got.
Yeah.
So these three are three different order sergeant. Well, they're three new models. So you actually have three new versions that you'll be getting, which is nice. Because what this opens it up for, so if you did want to get that Seraph, you have enough to run with this box of full Order Sergeant core team, because they're also Fire Team core. If you run them that way, the Order Sergeants. But when you're running, so if you're bringing the Seraph, you'd probably use your Order Sergeants as a core fire team, right?
Yep.
When you're running Joan, you tend to take the specialist Order Sergeant profiles that also exist in the Order Sergeant profile list.
Oh, I can see the new models. They have them released just for a single. They have them released just for a single sale right now.
Yep, you just buy the three of them. Yeah.
Yeah, for $10.
Yep, and that also comes with an Oxbot, since one of the profiles can have an Oxbot too. That's why that Oxbot's also in the army box, so you can Oxbot with it.
Oh, well, you can Oxbot with a lot of stuff now. All of a sudden, I've been able to see.
Yep, in Pano. But the Order Sergeants, again, they're a really flexible choice. They're not exactly cheap for line infantry, because that's what they are.
Yeah,
but
the military order is also an elite army.
Yeah, it is. But
in quantity,
you have a lot of flexibility though with the Order Sergeants, which is why they're really important to have some. So again, this is where in this box without Diversion, you're getting your hacker, because you can take a specialist Order Sergeant that's a hacker. So that's one of the models, and there's the hacker, and then a very common. You can also get MSV2 specialist sergeant if you want that with a Spitfire or with a multi-rifle, I believe, multi-sniper. Oh no, the multi-sniper doesn't have MSV, but the Spitfire version does.
Okay.
The multi-sniper version though has TO camo, which is really good camouflage and infiltration. So that gives you a very sneaky surprise sniper unit that you could bring. But the most common specialist sergeant you see people run, because it does a lot for you, is the TO camo infiltrating forward observer special sergeant that has combi rifle and anti-personnel mines. So because what that specialist sergeant does is it's a TO troop, so they're very sneaky. And being a forward observer, it allows you to complete a lot of the mission objectives when you're playing an actual game of Infinity. So they're an actual specialist,
right?
So that particular plus with anti-personnel mines, it also lets them lock down areas or deter people from going through certain areas, or at least having to deal with mines. So it's a very versatile profile for the Order Sergeants. In fact, I usually run two of those in my military order list. I have two of those guys usually in my list.
Really?
Oh yeah, just because again they can complete objectives like your mission objectives during the game, and they do area denial with mines and being TO camo. So if they don't have a visor, they're really hard to hit and get take off the table. So they're a really good, essentially objective grabber for the military orders. So where your knights and Joan do all the heavy lifting and the killing, your Order Sergeants are really there to get the mission done, essentially.
Right.
So, moving past the Order Sergeants, you have the Black Friar.
Ooh, Blackfire, not a bad model either.
Oh yes, he's a very cool model. This is what is referred to again in Infinity as a toolbox unit. So Black Friars, there's only two profiles for him, but arguably both very, very good. So he's an MSV2 unit, so he does have a good visor, which lets him deal with other camo troops and things. The one you get in the box is the multi-rifle version, which is there's a lot of debate on the internet of which one's better, but I find this guy to be the one you really want, because he gets all the special ability. Yep, the multi-rifle one, because he gets a special rule called albedo. So for the first two player rounds of the game, so the very first turn in the game, he is a mobile white noise zone, is what albedo does for him. So that means anybody with visors actually can't see him.
Really?
Yes, because he's considered white noise as a hacking program that stops visors from being like kind of like a smoke grenade, but only useful against visors. It stops them from being able to see him. So he's really good for running up and dealing with other people that have a visor unit on the table, because they can't really do much against him because they can't see him for the first turn of the game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so the Blackfriar can be a very, very nasty surprise for guys with MSB. You can ask Skippy. I used it against one of his MSB snipers, and he did. I don't think he appreciated it very much, but
it's like, damn it, Sean.
Yeah, he's like, I did not account for a jerk like this just being able to run up and do something unopposed. This profile also comes with a biometric visor level 1, so it makes him also good for ferreting out hollow projections. Very, very useful thing to have. And on top of multi-rifle nanopulsar, he has drop bears. So drop bears are throwable mines. So combined with your order sergeants, it means with this guy in your list, you do have a lot of potential area denial, being that you can put out a lot of mines. You can mine the board pretty heavily. So that's a pretty handy thing. And again, they're drop bears, so these are throwing mines. So unlike the other guys that have to place them along their movement path or base contact, you can actually throw these around the board.
Jesus, that sounds like a great way to screw someone over.
Yeah, no, he's a very fun unit. And in games that I played with him, he either does a lot or he gets killed right away.
Sounds about right.
Yep. And then the final unit you get in that box is the Crusader. You get a Crusader Brethren,
which is pretty average.
The Crusader Brethren do some neat things for you. So they're considered medium infantry. They're jump troops is what they are. So they're combat drop troops. So this guy would start off the table, and you can drop him anywhere on the table.
Oh, wow.
Yep, so he has 80 combat jump, which is good, 0G. Though 0G doesn't usually come up very often, but, when
it does, it does.
Yeah. So anytime there's 0G zone, this guy's okay to move around in it. There's a wide variety of weapon options for Crusader Brethren. What does this one have? I think it's just the combi rifle one, I think. Looking at the picture, I'm not sure. Looks like he has a combi rifle and something else.
I think it is just a combi.
Yep, I think it's just the combi rifle one, but they have a lot of different weapon options. It might be it looks like he has 2 guns, so it might be the multi-rifle light flamethrower version of the Crusader. So, which is again pretty solid. For medium infantry, he has good armor, all that stuff. So, but essentially, this is a guy you would drop in the backfield or something just to help, screw up your enemy's plans. He's a, oh crap, this guy popped out of nowhere, now I have to deal with him kind of guy.
Right.
So he gives you a good amount of flexibility, to use in combination with the core link of all the hospitallers, which are, really big and angry and tough to kill, and causing problems for your opponent hopefully, and then you can drop a Crusader just to compound that. Or in cases where you get sucked into a situation you don't want to be, hopefully the Crusader can drop down and take the pressure off your core link team of knights, so they can continue doing their nasty angry stuff on the table.
Sounds about right.
Yep. So not bad to have a Crusader Brethren. They give you that tactical flexibility, that a lot of people crave, a lot of people want.
Yeah, I think that's the last unit in the box, right?
That is the last unit in the box, correct.
Yeah, like I said, Military Order is got a huge buff from this new box that's going to be coming out.
No, they're all existing units. It's just this is a popular way to run them. So, like a thing Infinity will do, unlike a lot of other games that sell you like an army box, where like take Spud's Talons of the Emperor for his custodes that he bought, right?
Yeah.
Like the only things in that box he's actually going to use in his custodes army are the custodes themselves: Sisters of Silence, the Land Raider, the Contemptor, the Rhino. Not using any of that stuff. That's
right.
not useful to you at all, really. A lot of that you're not using it. 95% of the time you're never bringing that stuff.
Right.
However, this box in Infinity, this is for the most part, by and large, a competitive build. All this stuff is useful. You would find yourself, you could run this right out of the box and you'd do just fine. Even against somebody's very, what they consider a competitive list. This you could use this quite effectively against that. And
hold on. Yeah. Right. No, right. I'm still following what you're saying.
Yep. So this is all useful stuff for you. All things you'd want to have in your army. But like you were talking, if you brought a Seraph, again, combined with the old military order starter that you'd bought, you could swap out like most of the knights. You can still keep one or two of them in there. Maybe like the HMG Knight or the Doctor Knight or what have you, and then instead run a Order Sergeant Corps link. And then I think the only thing you'd want to pick up aside from that, once you get this box, is like a machinist. So you get like the Pano support pack.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, because you want an engineer is the thing. And I don't think Order Sergeants have one. No, they don't have an engineer profile. So,
you know what I like about Father Officer Gabriel?
That he's awesome?
No, he's a hacker.
Well, that too. Yeah. Super hacker.
Yeah, he's like awesome at hacking.
Yeah, and he has Spitfire.
Yeah.
And he has the Hospitaller Knight stats, so he's also very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He has an AP shot close combat weapon, so he's pretty good. Pretty good at smacking people too. So
I'm just trying to build a list of things I should get.
I mean, if I were you, and again, I play a military order, so I already have Gabriel de Prison, but definitely you want to pick him up.
Yep.
He's a thing to grab. And if you're picking up a Seraph, I said if you're picking one up.
Well, it's a thought.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you pick that up, you also want the support pack, because you're going to want an engineer on the table. Because that will allow you to heal your tag should it take damage.
Pano's got support packs, right? Oh, here, there's a starter pack. I don't see a support pack.
Did they get rid of the support pack?
Well, I'm looking in their store right now, and I'm kind of like, how they have the packs kind of at the front?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything unless it's further into the pages, and I'm just looking in the wrong spot, which, it could be.
It's possible.
Oh, here it is. Pano support pack.
Yep, you want that.
So what do we got here? We got, oh, hold on. Dumb thing. Go up. So we got PAL bots.
Yep.
Looks like we got 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
We have a trauma doc.
Yep.
And we have a machinist.
Yep. So you want those 2. And now, like, those 2 models, like, say if you didn't want to run the Hospital Knight Doctor, you could bring the trauma doc also in the list. Because it's not for you an MO. Yep, and she's cheap. She doesn't do anything other than Doctor. So don't expect her to do anything fancy, like a lot of fancy Rambo killing or anything like the Knights. But
like, pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, she's a cheap doctor, though. So, and that also means she's a specialist. So
she's good for wounds.
Yes, exactly. And the same thing with the machinist, which you'd want for, helping keep the Seraph up, if at all possible.
So basically, like, keep my machinist behind my Seraph.
Well, kind of. So
kind of like the engine seer from 40K.
Kind of. So you see those PAL bots they come with? Since I know you haven't really played Infinity yet. So what those guys do is you can pair them with your guys. You can bring 1 or 2. you can bring them both at the same guy if you wanted. But what they do is they allow you to, they act at the same time he does and do the same thing he does. So what you can do is you can keep your machinist or your trauma doc back and have the Palbot run up instead to try to fix the Seraph.
So my Palbot could go with my doctor and be like a medic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, unless you run the Palbots up. Like the Palbots themselves, they don't really fight.
So can I go like 1v1? Like, can I have both the machinist and the doc and then have one Palbot for the machinist and one Palbot for the doc?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But
I'll definitely think about that one. All right.
Yeah, they allow you to run out and make that attempt without exposing your actual, guy to danger.
Mm-hmm.
And then should, for whatever reason, it is very unlikely a lot of the time because, again, Palbots don't have guns and they're not very good at fighting anything. So most people ignore Palbots a lot of the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, that kind of makes sense.
Because, a lot of the time, especially if you have a choice between shoot Palbot or Angry Seraph, you're probably shooting the Angry Seraph. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, besides that, anything else you think I should get?
Well, since you've got that box, you've got most everything you'd want, really.
Well, okay. The only thing I have is Joan and the start box.
Yeah, well,
I have ideas of what I want.
Yeah, but I'm just saying after the you could pick up Magister Knights if you wanted another a third variation of how to run your knights.
Magisters?
Yeah, you could get it. They're actually quite good. That's how I've been running mine actually lately. So I haven't even really been running Joan mine lately, and I will put Joan in occasionally, but as not running her as part of a core link. So this is where I kind of want to use the new mobility armor version with as a standalone, just have her by herself to do her thing. And
how are the Magister Knights?
They're really good. They're also another type of fire team that the Hospitaller Knights can be a part of. So you can have a mix of Magister Knights and Hospital Knights as a fire team.
Yeah, or you mean the Knights Hospitaller?
Yeah. So they have a special fire team that they can have Magister Knights in with them.
Really?
So yeah, it's just another variation of the fire team you can run. Magister Knights themselves, they're pretty decent in combat, like all knights.
Yeah.
Their big thing is they have hyperdynamics, so that means they have like a fizz of 17 or something when it comes to dodge, so that they're really good at dodging a lot of the time. They only have light shotguns, so it means they're really close range as far as the regular guns go, but they all carry Panzerfaust, though.
Isn't that a rocket launcher?
Yes, it's each one has 2 shots per guy, but it's also an AP explosive weapon that does a lot of damage, so it's really good at killing like tags or any big nasty thing. Anything that gets hit with a Panzerfaust generally.
This is the profiles they say. The first one has a DACCW.
Yep.
The second one has a missile launcher.
Yep.
The third one has a Panzerfaust.
Yep.
And the fourth one has a light shotgun.
Yep. So even though they're not modeled on, the only one that's different in there is the one with the missile launcher, because he actually has the missile launcher, which is another option you can bring in your squad is a missile launcher. But they all, like all those ones without it, they all have light shotguns and they all have the Panzerfaust.
You just don't see it.
Yeah.
Because they can only physically represent so much.
Yeah. Unless you want to buy a bunch of them and use the, same models over and over again. But no.
I mean, I'm not that hardcore.
Those are their only 2 weapon options, though. You either have light shotgun Panzerfaust or it has a missile launcher. Those are really your only weapon options. You can change up the close combat weapons.
You mean the DACCWs?
Yeah, because I can think they can have DA or AP. So.
Okay.
But even then, the guy that says it has a DA close combat weapon, he has an AP close combat weapon. There's no real noticeable difference between the 2 at all. So you can call them whatever as far as close combat weapon type is concerned.
Right.
But Magister Knights, even by themselves, they're pretty interesting. You just have them as solo because they have like Frenzy or something or Impetuous, so they just run at people and cause damage.
Honestly, I'm just looking for something that's cheaper. What about Crusader Brethren?
Oh, that was gonna be my other thing to recommend. So how you're getting the one in the armory box if you get that in October, because that's when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to pick up the Crusader Brethren, it'll just give you different options of Crusader Brethren. So maybe you want to swap the existing one out with a different weapon profile, or if you maybe wanted to run more than one Crusader Brethren.
Okay.
That's totally up to you. These are just things that give you more options for how you want to build your list when you're.
Well, I'm just trying to, I'm thinking Joan and the Seraph, or Joan and Gabriel and the Seraph are probably going to be my 3 linchpins.
Yeah, depending upon which list you're running, yeah.
Right. And so I'm trying to figure out like lists that, I don't have to spend a lot of money, but I can still, run them effectively.
Yeah, so like the Crusader Brethren, nice to have, but they're not required.
What about the Blackfriars?
You're already getting one with it, and it's the same one. If you bought that one, it's the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you already got one in this case.
No, that's fine. And how much was the new military order box?
It's probably gonna be like $100.
Oh boy.
Again, that's a complete army, so it's like everything.
But yeah, you're getting Joan, a Blackfriar, a hacker.
Yep.
New. You're pretty much getting the bang for your buck.
Yeah, it's actually cheaper than if you were to go buy all those individually.
Right. Well, I mean, the only ones I have on here. Well, you can't get Magister Knights in the box. Oh,
well,
you can?
They're not in the army box, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like the only things I have on my list right now that aren't on the box are the Magister Knights, the Seraphs, the support pack, and Gabriel.
Yep. And again, the Magisters aren't required, but if they're just something to consider if you just want to change something up, so you're not, running hospital knights or order sergeants, so you want something a little different.
Right.
They're just a good,
And I mean, the new Joan will kind of just give me a variety on the Joan I want.
Yep.
I don't think Spud's coming back. Now I'm sad.
I don't think so either. He's been gone a while.
He's been gone for almost an hour.
Has he?
Almost.
That jerk. But at least he left us to look at Bowsette.
Yes. To stare at her magnificent beauty.
Yes. Those epic cans.
Or him, or... God damn it, now I'm thinking of transvestites. Why does the internet have to ruin things for me?
Bowsette is not a transvestite.
Bowser literally transformed into a female. That's about as transvestite as you're going to get.
No. So this is not having any kind of trans anything into it. This was a magical transformation mark. So this was a perfect into the other side. You
understand how much bullshit that sounds like, right?
No.
But you understand how bullshit that sounds, right?
Yes, but I'm spouting it anyway.
I know. Magical transformation, my ass. You just wanted a transvestite in your list.
No. That's a real woman now.
Jesus Christ. If they make a new Mario game and Bowser ends up being a female, I am going to be so pissed.
That's what everybody's clamoring for right now. So
why?
They want Bowsette to be a real character now.
Oh my God. My head is hurting. I'm glad I'm drinking. My head is hurting.
Well, I want you to carry the stream for a moment because
you want me to carry the stream?
Yes, because I had to talk forever because now I need a drink and I'm grabbing a cigarette.
All right, well, I'll carry on the stream and I'll do something that I wanted to do
when you're doing it.
Well, that's fine. I'll be doing it at the very beginning, like what I wanted to do, but I know you and Spud weren't really into it, and that's talking about for a little bit my old pirate game. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to my stream. Now that Sean's off his little ramble about Infinity, and hope to God that ends for a while. We'll see. We'll see how many videos that lasts. if not half a video. So for those of you who don't know, about oh gosh, it's almost been 10 years since it died. But about so from like 2004 to 2009, there was a company WizKids that were absolved by a different company. However, during their existence, they made a game from 2004 to 2009 called Pirates, the constructible card game. How it worked was you and a friend or whatever could buy a single pack of things, and each pack would come with 2 ships, or a ship and a fort, or a ship and a sea monster, and an island. And how it would work is you could use your ship's status card as your home island, and you could use the wild island you got from your pack as an island, and you got coins with it, and you got like unique treasures with it depending, and all that cool jazz. And if you want, you can look it up. It's what we call Pirates, the constructible card game. It's really simple to follow, but I loved Pirates and this came out in 2004, so I was 7 years old. By then, Pirates of the Caribbean had come out, and I was just really into the game. I loved I loved Pirates. Pirates was everything when I was a kid. So when my father first bought me my first models, I was so thrilled that I could kind of reenact some of the things I'd seen in the pirate movies. And that's what drew me to it, because pirates are awesome. And I actually do have a deep obsession with pirate stuff. You might see all this like Star Wars branding and all the things I give Star Wars, but pirate stuff also just makes me an extremely happy guy, because I geek out for pirate stuff, and it's so weird, but it's an obsession of mine, but I have it. So anyway, I collected them what felt like forever. However, it was only about 5 years in total. And that actually was probably the whole spanning of my collection, was for about 5 years. Little did I know that because I had left and that's a whole nother story. This whole life story of why I stopped collecting. But when I actually just visited my brother last weekend, and I saw my father for the first time in a while, and he gave me back like 90% of my old collection, and it just brought back so much nostalgia. And I remember this game like it was like I could play it now and I don't even have to look at the rules, but I just know the game so well. And I honestly have to credit this game and Age of Empires, the computer game, as being the games that not only got me into strategy games, but got me into table gaming or board gaming as a whole. And I just and that's why I threw this here in this video, was because I wanted to, put that in there, and how much of because honestly, I don't think anyone will ever know how much of an influence it had on my future gaming. Little did I know, like when I first saw this and I was telling my roommate, I told her that I was like, this game right here is probably the reason I'm in the hobby that I'm in today. I mean, granted, I do a lot of different things, like, assembling and painting models and stuff, but the basic concept is there, and I have to give 100% credit to this game. And it's truly remarkable. And it's a really simple game too. So like I said, you get them in these packs, and you can you pop them out of these, like, they're almost like cardboard, but not really. And you pop them out. They're like a bendable plastic almost, but bend too hard and they'll break. And I've had a lot of them break on me. But then you assemble them, and they're very basic, and they're super simple to follow. It's really, you don't even need to be at the age requirement to figure it out. Like, oh yeah, that thing goes into that slot and that slot. And if you guys like, I can post some pictures on the YouTube channel here, and you guys can see what it all looks like, and I'll have like a what a demo board would look like. for you guys if you'd like. But it's really, really simple stuff. And it was really simple. So day 5 minutes after you buy it, you could go home and you could play a game. It's literally one of those things. It's like Magic, and it's like any other card game where you can literally just pick it up and you can play it right then and there. You don't even, you can follow the rule book, that's fine, but it's for me, I don't know what it'd be like for other people, but for me it's just so simple to understand. It's like looking at the back of your hand almost. And it's a really simple concept. You place your ships on your home island, and then you roll dice, and then you go and then you use your card kind of like as a length measure. So that's something really unique, is that you use the card. So I guess you can't really use the card as your base plate. So I mean, you probably should collect more than one pack, but use the length of the card. So you use its width and its length as measurement tools. And they're described by L, which means long, and short, meaning short side. Pretty simple stuff. And you would measure these out to go into combat, to drive your ship forward, or anything like that. For if you wanted to do any sort of movement at all, you would use the card. And then your dice were your indicators for how much health you had and all that stuff. So it's a really unique and pretty interesting concept that I think kind of indirectly, without even me knowing it, kind of turned me towards tabletop gaming where it is today. But it is super simple, and it's a lot of fun. And I really wish I could easily play a game. A game can go anywhere from 20 minutes till, I mean, depending, you could go literally hours. It could be as long as a Warhammer 40K game, and those can take up to 6 hours, depending on the size of the fleet you have and what you're doing. If you're going for outright domination, basically meaning you're trying to get all the gold and all the enemy ships sunk, then you're going to probably play a longer game. But if you're just going for like fetch the gold or something like that, I don't remember the actual term of it, but if you're just going for gold fetching, it's going to take 20 minutes at most. And it's a really quick and easy game to get into. And I wish the company wasn't absolved by a different company, and I really wish it was still made, just because of its extremely simple concept, and I love it.
Do you, Mark?
Oh yes, Sean, I really do.
Sounds piratey.
It is very piratey. Like, they made a whole world backstory and everything about like everyone has like a dark side.
Oh.
Like the Americans, who you would think are the good guys, are also kind of like, I kind of want to be a dick too.
So like in reality.
Yeah, exactly. They were made by WizKids.
Okay. Well.
Which is, they got absolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was made by WizKids before they got absolved, and then the new company never continued the line, which is very sad.
Yeah, WizKids.
Everyone misses WizKids.
I don't.
Wow. They made some of the games that like formed my childhood.
I think I only ever played one WizKids game.
What was that?
D&D Attack Wing.
Ooh. Okay, that's pretty. Wow, I wasn't expecting you to drop that one.
And I'm depressed that I spent money on it.
Jesus, Sean.
Well, like I said, I've kind of played X-Wing. Because it's the same game, but with dragons.
How can you not like dragons?
Well, that's why I bought it, because I was like, I like dragons. And then,
dragons are cool.
Right? And then, people played it for like a month, and then no one played it anymore. And I'm like, oh, no.
This game, I don't know if it was its simple appeal, but this game caught on to me.
Okay, well.
This game is really simplistic.
Yeah.
It's like the games that we play would be like like going to get your doctorate in college, and this game is like second, third grade.
It's like every edition of 40K should effectively give you an associate's degree
Right.
every time a new edition drops.
Or even for Age of Sigmar, the same thing too.
Yeah, yep. Learn all the rules. Now Infinity, that's like getting a doctorate or a PhD.
Oh my god. Well, they're also changing the rules all the time.
No,
No?
no,
I thought they were one of those kind of companies.
no. They don't change the rules all the time. That's why the rule set's so crunchy, because they do it very comprehensively when they do a new edition.
So they actually take their time, unlike GW.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's very clear in what it does, unlike, GW.
Oh, you mean unlike my Nagash ability, which literally can turn players into dust, but the first time I ever tried to use it, it literally was like I couldn't figure out the whole wording of it, and I probably messed it up. And I did actually. I did look it up, and it was supposed to be played a completely different way.
Yeah, no. In Infinity, when you got a special rule, it specifically states what it does, and then it gives you examples of what it can and cannot do.
Right. No, and that's the whole point there, is like it's supposed to be that it should be that clear.
Yep.
And in my opinion, all rules should be that clear.
Yep. They even go so far into a lot of things, like this is specifically when it takes effect during an action and blah blah blah, and how it interacts with what's going on.
I wish more rules were like that.
Yeah, they're very specific.
You have no idea like how many times I can go through the Legion fan page or the 40K fan pages or the Age of Sigmar fan pages and find like, oh, hey guys, how does this rule work? Or hey, this is how I interpret this rule. Is this how I should interpret it? And then the community is literally divided in half. Like, oh yeah, that's how I interpret it. Totally go for it. And then others are like, well, I get what you're saying, but I interpret it like this. And then they give a completely different skewed idea. And it's like, which one's the right way?
Right. Yeah. No,
it makes no sense.
There's none of like the current 40K. Oh, we dropped a FAQ or a new book came out, so the entire meta shifts, because of this thing.
Well, it doesn't help that even 8th edition itself completely flipped the old meta on its head entirely.
Oh, of course, the new edition totally changed how the game was played.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah, like even these two new armies, you're not going to see, like in Infinity, you're not going to see a giant meta shift being one or the other being like the top army now or something.
Well, it's going to be like Orctober, like we've been saying, because the new Orc book is coming out.
Yep.
So that's going to be a completely different meta shift for the Orc armies, hopefully.
It's going to be a meta shift for everybody, because you'll probably see Orcs come back, is my guess when the book comes out.
And then they're going to be probably like the top 5 armies again.
Probably. I'll let you know when I get the book.
Oh yeah, because you got boys, don't you?
I do. I got my boys.
When I first got into 40K, I really was tempted to get boys.
Of course, they're the best.
But then I never did.
Well, not everybody makes good choices in life, Mark.
Oh, fuck off. Is Spud back?
No.
Yes.
Oh my god! He's joining
us. I even said that I'm surprised that you guys are still going.
Yeah, we're going for the next 7 minutes, dude.
Yeah, that's 7 minutes, man.
We got 7 more minutes.
I had to make dinner and help with everything.
Oh, that's fine. No worries, man. We're cool.
Yeah. You guys already left me here for like a half hour, 40 minutes, where I had to sit and talk by myself.
Yeah, he had to talk to the guy on his own.
Because everybody went and had dinner. Well, I haven't eaten.
Well, I wasn't expecting to have dinner. I honestly thought my house was burning down.
Everybody got to fill their bellies and feel contented. I was left here hanging in the wind.
Look, I'm the flaky one in this one. In my stream, I'm actually the most reliable one. Bro.
Yeah.
Don't rely on me in this one.
As a host, I should be the most reliable, but
yeah, you should be here.
But shit happens.
That's right. You should have went down there and been like, damn it, woman, I'm busy.
But Armor Freak, that's why you're co-host.
Yeah, evidently.
Oh.
I was host. I was host today.
Well,
I
yeah,
drove.
you were. Yeah. Well, I also kind of gave this episode to you because you've been hammering it on for the last 2 episodes and then God on all of our Discord servers. So I was like, I need to allow this guy a couple hours to just spew about Infinity.
I drove this bus.
Today you drove the bus, yes.
You know,
He's like the Joker. He not only drove the bus, he kidnapped everyone on it,
I did.
including us, bud.
Of course, you know, in the next episode, I'm just going to continue to talk about Infinity, the greatest game ever made.
Oh God, yes, we know. It's just I was hoping that this video would kind of curb your temptations slightly.
Even when the Orc book comes out, I'll be like, Orc's great. Infinity now.
And then when we finally start streaming in October, every single week it's going to be about orcs.
And
now it's still probably going to be about Infinity.
Yeah.
Probably.
We're talking about.
And then the day after the book releases and we get on our live, or the next time in between our live chats when the new book comes out, that live stream is going to be nothing but the orcs.
We're talking about the FAQ and stuff next one, right?
Oh, yes, we are.
Today.
Yes, we are going to be bringing up the new FAQ.
I almost did when you guys left me hanging, but I was like, no, they won't talk about it next time. Mark was talking about it next time.
Well, it should have been brought up this time because something like that should be brought up sooner rather than later.
Exactly.
No, you're right. I had a premeditated plan and then everything just kind of flipped on me. So that's my B.
That's how that happens.
That's my B.
It's called being adaptive.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
We have to get that YouTube algorithm, because if everybody else talks about it, if you would have put in the tag, and Warhammer Big Fac, more people would be seeing this because we pushed into their feeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fucking YouTube algorithms.
Yep.
I remember watching YouTube in the days when you could just post a video and then you'd still get like a few thousand likes just because it was a YouTube video.
Don't you know how to do tags and stuff?
Okay, I was retired from YouTube for like 5 years, and I finally came back with this channel, trying to come back with a vengeance. So I'm still trying to master the YouTube algorithm. I seriously didn't post a single video for 6 months.
So even my dead ass channel that I have not posted anything to for over a year still gets many hours of views each month.
How the hell?
I don't know, but it does.
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, most of my stuff's like painting tutorials and stuff, so people
watch.
Well,
yeah, that explains it. Painting tutorials. Hobbyists will look up painting tutorials, and your videos will probably come up.
Yeah, people watch them.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Heck, if you continued to do that, like you could record yourself painting one day and post it on your YouTube channel. And I could bet you could get about 1,000 subscribers in a few months.
I'm planning on doing like Twitch streaming of it and stuff soon and see how long it takes for Twitch to ban me.
Not very long at all.
Probably not, because I'll probably sit there and shit on Twitch half the time.
Oh, you mean just like we shit on YouTube sometimes?
Yeah, I shit on YouTube all the time.
Yeah. It's not like YouTube ever watches their own content.
No.
Unless the people are like directly calling out YouTube like in the tagline and everything.
Not even. They're like, oh, they got 8 subscribers. F those guys. Who cares?
Yeah, we're one of the I'm one of the channels that YouTube like knows I exist, but they don't give a shit.
Well, I'm sure some computer that has logged the fact that this channel exists knows you exist, but I don't think anybody actually working there probably knows you exist.
Honestly, you're probably accurate on that. Their all-knowing system knows I exist, but like any like actual human in YouTube like headquarters knows I exist, probably not. But their computers, yes.
I'm distracted. Spud's making himself bounce.
Yes, I see that. It's really strange and it's really throwing me off. I'm like, is he doing that on purpose or is that some of the new animation? How are you? I don't want to know how you're doing that because I know
it's actually an idle animation.
I know what you look like physically, and I don't want to think about what you're doing to make that happen.
Look, okay, face rig just tracks the face, not anything else.
I get that. Right? I get that, but you're moving your breasts.
Look, it's the animation that was set to the actual animation itself.
Not quite as good as the hair thing. I'm throwing that out there. But...
Your breasts aren't your face.
No, they're not. Like I said, it's an idle animation. It's set on the character.
Yeah, I know.
Mark's the only one here that doesn't have breasts. What's wrong with you?
Because the army keeps me fit. I have pecs.
I was talking about the avatars, but you know.
Oh well, my
thanks for calling us fat, Mark.
Yep, no problem. I'm here all week. Just kidding. I'm only here till next week, and then next week's live stream. I'm just saving up money right now, because until I get my new camera, and then I'll be posting different videos.
Yay!
Plus this one.
It's time, Mark.
Say again.
It's time, Mark.
Yes, it's time to expand.
No, it's that time.
Oh my God! It is that time already. Oh my God!
Thanks for staying on the ball, Mark.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh gosh, has it already been 3 hours?
Yes.
It's scary. 3 hours.
I don't know how you didn't realize it since you were gone for like 40 minutes.
Shut up. All right. Well, YouTube, that is it for the night. Sean, Spud, I'll see you guys later. And you guys, subscribe for more live streams like this one. And if you kind of like this rambling that we do sometimes, go ahead and you'll see more of it. But if you guys want to have your own suggestions for videos, please comment on this video or put it up in the discussion board on the YouTube channel. That way we can actually see what you guys want to see. So that way we can like kind of more streamline this whole process here. But we hope you enjoy, and we'll be back next week for more Age of Whatmar, episode 4, unknown title. See you next week, guys. Peace out.